And we're
that may
live.
have happened.
Hello.
I mean, you can do that. I'm going to interrupt you. You can do that, but I will flip it back onto you instantly.
That's what I said.
Now,
Exactly.
now nobody knows what you're talking about or
anyway.
any context with that, so they'll think you're talking about something rude.
So, for context for everyone in chat, Foxx wants to mock me constantly. All I need to do is bring up his wrist, and I've flipped it instantly.
Yeah, how's your hand? How's your fummy wummy kin?
It seems better today, so I'm going to go for it.
Oh.
But anyway, apart from that, thank you for throwing me under the bus there, Colin, seeing as you and I decided on Friday to make Simon the target of all our mockery, and now he's saying, no, we didn't do that. No,
I said we did. That may have been mentioned, actually.
Yeah.
So there
But
you
just
go.
before that, he said, Simon, you're an excellent chat reader and you're really lovely and I love you and I want your
Absolutely,
babies.
because he is a brilliant chat, Dolly. The fact that he's a forgetful old fart and he abandoned us both.
What is he now, 97?
Hasn't been forgotten.
No.
But I'm not going to take away from the fact that chat is shite when he's not on.
That's true. But he's still rubbish. Anyway, yes, welcome everybody. Welcome everyone to Warhammer Sunday. Yes, it's that time of the week when we sit and make some Warhammer goodness for a few hours of a Sunday. We are, as you can see, there are two of us, but there are three of us. There are two but three. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yes, welcome. Before we get going, before we start with the nonsense, I have to do all the shout-out stuff to all my supporters, people that make all my channel and content possible. So let's get that rubbish out of the way first. First and foremost, big thank you to my corporate supporters, emodels.co.uk and goblingaming.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your tabletop and model-making needs. Links in the description below the video. Go and use them. It helps them out massively. It helps me out massively. I make a bit of income from it. And you're also saving yourself some money. So go and use those. And also to my patrons and channel members who also make all my content and channel possible. They support me each month, so big massive hugs and thank you to them. If you want to help support the channel, you can go to patreon.com/modelmakingguru, or you can press the join button underneath any of my content and become a channel member. You get free access to the Zoom 24/7 offline hangout and loads of other goodies as well. Now don't forget, as always, we do all have the chat in front of us, so if you want to join in the live chat, please do. Gives us stuff to talk about. If you're watching embedded in Facebook or Twitter or something, just click on the YouTube icon in the bottom right. That takes you to YouTube where you can carry on watching and join the live chat. And if you want to get our attention in chat, because we're old and rubbish and can't see very well, apart from Si Reynolds, who's not old, even though he's 97, 98 now.
98.
Well, now I've just said it. He's 99. Now he's 99. We want to get our attention. Put your comment in big capital letters, or put at Model Making Guru, or at Festa67's Workshop, or at Si Reynolds in the chat, and it will hopefully make a little thing that we can see. Or you can do a super chat by pressing the dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window. It does an animation and does a little animated thing and a noise, and there's no way for us to miss your comment because it gets a big coloured box. So there you go. Now you'll have noticed there's only two of us here, but there are three. With me, as always, is my very dear friend Colin from Festa67's Workshop, who you can support at patreon.com/Festa67's Workshop, or press join underneath his channel content. How are you doing, Col?
All right, me old China. How are you?
I'm all right.
Yeah, you're right under that bus. How's your thumb?
My thumb is a little bit better. I'm going to risk it for a biscuit today and see how we get on with some building. It's not been too bad today, so we'll see how it goes. Now,
Good.
Now, you will notice there is actually another voice in the background there. Somewhere.
He's got quiet.
Oi! Oi, Grumpy.
I mean, I couldn't just answer that simply because, I made you look like a mug.
Marcus Bruner's put a super chat through, €9.99. Good evening, Foxx, Colin and Si. Hope you have a great stream. And to all in chat, hello there. Thank you very much, Marcus.
Hello, Marcus.
As always, your regular contribution. Lovely. Thank you. Big hugs.
I've got to compliment you, Marcus, on one hell of a good bit of beardage, mate. Thoroughly impressed.
I have not seen this.
He's got the proper Captain Birdseye white beard going on.
Oh, nice. Fantastic. I want a white beard and white hair. I haven't got white hair.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, but I'll say, you will have noticed there is a third voice. Si is, of course, with us, thank goodness. For once, he's managed to turn up. However, he's not got a picture. How are you doing, Simon Reynolds?
I've been living my life, something that you constantly fail to do, which is why I
can't
haven't
deny
been
that.
here for a few weeks. But yeah, I am here to cause havoc and probably lose Foxx monetization.
Don't.
Standard affairs.
Please don't do that. I've got bills to pay.
I'll try not to, but it's never a guarantee.
No, true. But yes, you're not on camera today because your domicile is 1 billion degrees.
Yeah, it's incredibly warm. So I've taken measures to stay cool, and they include a lack of cloth on my body.
Yeah, so
dear.
for the sake of monetisation and the sake of the children.
Don't want you to lose monetisation, because I did Friday when my moobs came out.
Yeah.
So your audio only, but that means he's going to be looking after the chat for us again today. So that's
Yes.
good. So we'll actually have some decent chat responses.
In theory.
Theoretically, yes. Are you actually going to be doing anything while you're doing that, or are you just going to sit and sweat and chat?
No, pretty much sit, sweat, and chat.
Sit and sweat and
man.
chat. So
And
Colin,
browse furniture. Yeah.
what are you working on today?
I am working on my little alt truck.
My little
of
pony.
altness.
Put your
Yeah.
full screen. There you go.
No, you don't want to do that, because
I've done
people
it.
see how
Too
bad my
late.
painting is. Yeah, I'm doing a bit more on the alt truck, just going around and doing a bit of base colours and everything to start, and then I'll come back at it and, yeah, do detail work later on. So, yeah, that's what I'm up to, mate.
Good girl.
It's going to go on my shelf of orky goodness, which is just next to me.
Yeah, don't spin the camera around again.
I'm all right. I have
Yeah,
got me
caution.
T-shirt.
Oh,
on today,
good
mate.
lad.
Caution.
Caution,
Yeah.
warning, danger of Will Robinson.
Yeah,
Arrgh.
once bitten, twice shy.
Yes, well, I'm going to today carry on with the jet.
Oh, good, man.
I've not glued the wings on, they're just temporary. So I'm going to carry on with that as best I can, see how the thumb gets on. It was all I could do yesterday not to turn the Xbox on.
I think you should have a month off gaming just to let your thumb heal.
No, because that's
Definitely.
what caused the problem in the first place, no doubt. So I'm sat there yesterday and it's like, I've just finished sorting out the Macarius Vanquisher. I'm tired now. I just want to chill out for the rest of Saturday and just not do any filming, just take it easy and have a few hours free. Because I'd spent all day photographing the tank and putting up the posts and stuff, doing the photographs. And I'm like, but I can't go on the Xbox because my thumb, I'll just make it work. Oh, and I had to sit there, sit on my hands and not play any games. I'm like, bored. Yeah.
Such a princess.
Well, there's nothing else to do. I had to read the internet and everything. It was rubbish.
Oh, we're
Cup of tea.
talking.
Oh, fummy wummy sawsy warsy. Did mummy kiss it better?
I
Ew.
mean, he claims it's an old thumb injury, but I'm saying it's a repetitive strain injury of a whole different nature.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, we know what you're doing.
Wrong hand. No!
Oh,
So, yes, I'll carry on with this today, see if we can get this finished in some way. He said, turning that handbrake. So, yeah, how are you, Simon Reynolds?
I am not too bad.
Yeah,
I
not
am
good.
incredibly warm. I am bored of house hunting. And
of course, yeah, you're house hunting as well,
Are
aren't
you
you?
moist?
a little bit, you know.
A little bit moist?
But yeah, it's all good. I am dreading going to IKEA.
Oh, you're going to be furniture shopping and everything soon, mate.
Yeah, but think of the
mate.
meatballs. Ooh.
No, we've been through this. No,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will not be entering meatballs into my facial orifice.
Well, then you're just strange and weird and we don't know you anymore.
Well, no, that's not true because most people go to IKEA for furniture. You go for balls of meat.
Why wouldn't you go to IKEA for meatballs?
Looking at the post-it.
No,
Looking
I
at,
don't
you
buy
wouldn't believe
furniture.
how much attention I'm paying to that post-it.
I don't buy furniture, I buy meatballs.
I'm wondering if you went to IKEA and that's how you injured your wrist.
Yeah.
No. Honestly. Please. The hot dogs aren't that big.
Well, you'd know.
Hey, what?
No comment.
So
Yeah.
anyway, so yes, so welcome everyone. Don't forget, of course, the most important question there is that we can possibly ask you at any point in time.
What's in the belly? What's on the bench? What is your beverage of choice?
What
Wait,
is?
we've expanded the question.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
grown slightly.
Beverage of choice.
Yes, bench and belly. Bench, I've got me wacka-dacka dicka-dacka-dacka racka-dacka
Bench,
ding-dang.
belly and beverage.
Yeah. Beverages,
Wait,
beverages,
but
of
if
course,
you-
Barry's tea. Belly, don't know yet. Later on, I might make a Fox's mess tonight.
If you've got beverages of choice, surely you also need to ask biscuit of choice.
Well, you might
Good
not have,
shout. The 4 Bs.
yeah?
Yeah.
Beverage and biscuit. They might not have a biscuit.
But they will more than likely still have a biscuit of choice, even if they don't have one at present.
That's true. Or at least they should then just be motivated to go and get a biscuit of choice.
What exactly?
I got Mama Foxx some biscuits today, and I've never had them before. They're like standard McVitie's chocolate digestives, but they're chocolate digestives with lemon drizzle.
Okay, they sound pretty banging.
Well, they smell a bit like... They kind of smell a bit like some kind of cleaning fluid. Like lemon-scented cleaning fluid. And I'm like, well, it smells like chemically lemons. It's...
Yeah, but dude, in all fairness, Jaffa cakes smell like arse, but they
That's
taste like God's food.
I've not tried one yet, though, so I'm sure they'll be really delightful. I found a piece of flash on this kit.
How you know arse smells of Jaffa cakes, I worry.
He's not allowed... That's what the restraining order's about.
Yeah.
You can't talk about that.
But
Oh,
just being that size in today, I would just like to say, bosh.
Bosh. So, have you ever, Cole, heard of, there is a shampoo brand called, I think it's Actual Source. No, it's called Original Source, right?
Yeah.
And all I will say is they do an orange one, that's that question answered. But secondly, they do a mint and chili one.
Yeah.
Get that.
Yeah,
Have a shower with it. Don't forget any of your delicate areas, and then come back to me and tell me how it was.
yeah,
But you are telling the baldest man in the world about hair shampoo.
Oh, dude, it burns.
It burns.
Oh, really?
Yeah, somebody told me that many years ago.
It's just like...
burns.
Is this like putting deep heat on a gentleman's sausage burn?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, shan't be doing that then.
No. It's a shame because the shower gel itself, it smells amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's like a lovely, like natural mint smell.
But why would you
Yeah.
want to? Why would you want? Did you say what was it again? What was it?
So,
Mint and chili.
Yeah.
But chilies just smell like the chilies don't smell nice and refreshing.
Yeah,
Did you?
but the chili extract is really good for your skin.
According to the packaging.
Certain skin.
Yeah.
Well, yes, that's good.
Yeah.
I should probably do my job anyway, because
Yes.
there is quite a lot of chat.
Do your job.
So we have a cat named Panzer in. Hi Panzer.
Hi, Panzer Cat.
Andy McLeish is with us as well.
Hello,
Andy
Andy.
McLeish.
Then a total. No, I can't say that. Model making guru is in.
Hello.
Yay!
Hello, model
Yay.
making guru.
As
He's
well
my
as,
favourite. You know that.
well, I had a theory. Festus67's workshop was in the chat before he actually joined us in the stream.
I was just about to put a thing in chat saying, "Oh, get your ass in here," but he turned up.
Yep. Paul J. Lewis is in.
Hey, Paul.
Hello, Paul.
Hello, Paul.
Eon's car is with us. Hey, dude.
Hello, Ian.
Hello.
Joseph Kelly is with us as well. Hey, dude.
Hello, Joseph.
Willkommen auf dem Nonsens.
Iron Man 129 is in as well.
Welcome.
Hi,
that.
Iron Man. Marcus, of course, is with us.
Yeah, we
Hello,
know
mate.
Marcus. Hello.
We have Adeptus Latrina as well.
Hey,
We
dude.
have Jeff, Uncle Jeff at Candygram from Mongo.
Mr. Sagan himself.
Yep, indeed.
If you wish to make an apple pie from scratch.
And then we've got some Lee Eagles.
Hello, Lee.
Some legal eagles.
Yep. And that seems to be everyone in the chat.
Yay.
And yeah, what are they talking about?
Yeah, so don't forget, folks, if you are watching this, you're not in the chat, come and join the chat. If you are in the chat, please remember to ask us many, many questions about anything you want. No religion and politics, but anything else is fair game, purely because Lord knows we need stuff to talk about. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adeptus Latrina is pointing out that in Vegas today it's due to get up to 38 degrees Celsius.
Oh, wow.
Blimey Riley.
No, thank you.
And
What
by
happens
all
if-
means, you can all ask Foxx how his thumb is.
My thumb is
Yeah,
fine.
please.
Well, I've said that already. We've done that one.
Yeah, I know, but I just want him to mock you.
See,
Do you know-
Panzer has a very good point that visiting IKEA is a bit like visiting a cheap escape room, which is very true.
Is visiting
Just-
what? A bit like what?
Visiting IKEA is a bit like a cheap escape room. Because
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
when you're actually in that like the showroom portion, it is like a maze.
It is like a linear first-person shooter, isn't it? Just without the shooting bit.
Yeah.
It's like, I need to go and look at a bed, but oh god, I've got to go through the soft furnishings first. No. Especially if the thing you need to look at is right at the end of the trail of destruction and misery.
Andy McLeish's got quite a disturbing question in reference to myself being 98.
Why does this not surprise me?
Well, he's asked if I'm a second edition and do I come with a service pack. Colin will get that joke. I'm not sure Foxx will.
Yes, it's a Windows joke, honestly. Do you know?
Adeptus Latrina has...
I'm not that young.
Well,
yeah, Foxx needs a cumulative update.
yeah, that's true.
Sorry, it's clear in my throat there. I need a what, sorry?
Bench, a cumulative update.
Oh, sniffles.
So, Adeptus Latrina has got, I'm guessing nothing on the bench because everything is in boxes. But in the belly, they've got eggs and avocado on an English muffin.
Oh, nice.
Or as we call them, muffin.
Muffin. And a mango monster.
Matt, what's a mango monster? It sounds good.
I'm guessing it's a mango flavoured energy drink.
Oh, the Monster Energy. Okay, yeah.
I'm assuming.
Unless it's like some big, tall, like mango-based snack food.
Now, intriguing, and I'm going to need you to expand on this, Eon's car. So, on the bench, they've got terrain objectives, which is fine.
Yep.
But now the bit that I need an expansion on is in the belly, they're going to have mint, beef burgers and chips.
They're going to have meat?
Mint, as in the herb.
All right, mint.
Beef burgers. Now, are these minted lamb burgers or actually mint and beef? Because
or is it just a burger made completely of mint?
Of mint.
That's a good combo, though.
Yeah, I've
You reckon? Mint and beef.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it?
Well, I've never had it, so it just sounds weird to me.
I've actually started recently, just purely because we got some spices and it had a big thing of mint, and I've started putting mint on everything now.
Oh gosh.
Because it's just really nice. Like if I'm making whatever I'm making, it just, especially if it's a very meaty dish and it's got lots of brown and savoury flavour, just a little bit of mint just gives it a little tiny bit of sweet top end.
You're basically saying you're putting mint on your meat.
Mint. Meat. Steady now. Stay on target.
Meanwhile, Panzer has got the Scottish classic square sausage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And egg rolls. And on the bench, he's got the turret of a T72. The beverage is coffee, and the biscuit of choice is a chocolate hobnob.
Did you know that the brand name of the square sausages, or there is a brand of square sausages, and they are called Squigs?
Yeah, I think you've told me that before.
Yeah.
Good name.
But yeah, good
and
name.
there was some hoo-ha with Games Workshop about it, and I think they just got told to shut up.
Yeah, just wrecked. So Paul J. Lewis hasn't got anything in the belly yet. That is a travesty.
Yeah, that needs to be sorted out.
But on the bench, he's got a Renaissance 1 to 24th Ferrari GT California, which is a lovely car.
Nice.
And beverage, nothing yet.
Beverage, nothing.
Adeptus Latrina would like to update us that the biscuit of choice is Oreos. Now, what type of Oreo? Are we talking about a standard Oreo?
There's only one type of Oreo, and that's just rubbish
No,
Oreo.
there's not.
That's horrible.
Are we talking about vanilla Oreos?
Yeah.
Are we talking about
Yeah.
birthday cake Oreos?
Yeah.
Are they flavoured? Are we talking about double stuff Oreos?
Yeah.
You're talking to a fat man here. I need to know.
do we do the proper Oreo thing of separating both halves, eating the cream, and then dunking the biscuit?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Blah.
We need to know.
Blah.
And also, whilst you're at it, if you're from England and you don't really eat Oreos, just tell me how you eat your cream egg. Why not?
See, I don't like cream eggs either. Ugh.
You're weird.
See, Oreos are just like, no, they're just tasteless cardboard.
I have a thing with cream eggs.
We've seen the restraining order right up.
Oh, silence, wrist boy. But by the end of their release for a year, like I'm sick of them. I'll have like 5 in that like 2 or 3 month period that they're released, and then by the time they come back around again, I've kind of forgotten that I was bored of them and kind of hate them now. So I'll have another one.
So I don't understand why you want Oreos when there's such wonderful alternatives like chocolate hobnobs and chocolate digestives and biscuits with actual chocolate and golden crunch creams and they're proper biscuits.
Yeah, but so you just named a ton of biscuits. The key is variety.
Yeah, but
like Oreos once in a while are great.
See, I'm all for variety, but variety where one of them is just cardboard is not interesting.
But by the same token, I think it's a bit like chocolate or sausage. America just doesn't do decent sausage, and it doesn't really do decent chocolate.
This is true. Or beer.
So I guess biscuits maybe fall into that category, or cookies.
Cookies, yeah. Yeah, if you say biscuits, that gets even more confusing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Marcus is waiting for a tandoori mixed grill and samosas.
Nice.
Sounds good. But I need to know, Marcus, what is involved in the tandoori mixed grill itself?
Do you know, every week I make the same mistake. I get up on a Sunday and I think, right, tonight for dinner I shall make X or Y or Z. And I discuss this with Mama Foxx and we get ourselves prepared for us to have a certain thing. And then by the end of this stream I'm like, I want curry or Chinese or Italian.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what I plan. Because now I'm thinking, I was going to do a Fox's mess, but now I really want curry. God damn it. The Bobbins is in.
That's fair.
Hey Bobbins.
Hello, Bobbins.
I'm still catching up, so I think Dave has joined us as well, because
Dave.
Dave.
I see him attempting to mock me, but he will fail horribly. Where was I?
There's a certain skill set required in successfully mocking Cy Reynolds.
Well, he's trying to say that I remembered what day it is, and on this occasion I did.
He was prompted.
Yeah. Well, in all fairness, I was contemplating, like, dropping a message in and being like, are you streaming today? Because sometimes you don't when it's really, really warm.
Yeah, but I'm not really warm, so...
And obviously, knowing how bad your thumb's been and how disabled it's made you, he wanted to just clarify, didn't you, Si?
Well, I did, you know. When you suck on a thumb that hard that you actually, like, drain
Suck
it.
on that! Suck on that, yeah? I don't know.
Oh, brilliant.
Sweat
I
boy.
love it.
So, Adeptus Latrina has updated us. Double stuffed Oreos, always, which are then separated, cream eaten, and then dunked. That is at least the correct way to eat an Oreo.
On a cream egg, Si, do you remove all the cream inside and just have the outer shell?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great, isn't it, doing that?
So you bite the top off it.
Yeah.
Then I remove the cream through methods that probably shouldn't be mentioned for fear of loss.
Remove your cream, gentlemen.
Yeah, that's why I was going down the road of do you remove the rather than say what we actually have to do. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you eat the chocolate shell.
Yeah.
See, I just find cream eggs just too sickly, and I like the chocolate, but
I couldn't eat one after another type of thing, but there is a process.
I can't eat one.
There is a process with them.
The contents of the chocolate shell are just too like sickly for me. I can't.
But by the same token, for me, that is almost what makes a cream egg so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you give me like a family-sized bar of chocolate, I could sit in front of a film and it would be gone within like half an hour to an hour.
Wow, that long?
Well,
I'd be about 10 minutes, me.
If I'm being reasonable, but if you put a box of 6 cream eggs in front of me, they'll probably last a week.
Because I find that when I eat a cream egg, I get that kind of, it's almost like a burn. It feels like you kind of burn your throat a little bit. I don't know what it is, but it's like a kind of very, something slightly irritating about the creamy, it just kind of burns the back of my throat. Not like a proper like caustic burn, but it just feels like that.
Oh, no, wait. I've offended Adeptus Latrina. So, I didn't say, Adeptus, that in terms of a cookie, America probably makes the best cookies in the world, because as you say, they invented them. And I can't go to fact check that, because I believe it to be true. However, if you consider what the English considers as a biscuit, which you may well call a cookie. I think English people consume cookies / biscuits in a very different manner.
Yes.
We tend to bake biscuits or cookies, as you know them, to dip into like tea or coffee.
Or if it's an entire pack of chocolate digestive, just to shovel into your mouth as quickly as possible in a sad moment.
Oh yeah, you can never put a half-finished packet back in the cupboard.
No.
Just doesn't happen.
No, but they are very, very. They're consumed in a different way. They just share a name.
Yeah. See, to us here in the UK, a cookie is kind of the thing you get when you go to, I don't know, Subway, and you get like, or you know, Burger or McDonald's or whatever, and you get the cookie. It's like the big flat thing with bits of whatever in it, and they're slightly squishy. That's a cookie to me, whereas a biscuit is a biscuit. So.
Well, it's weird. We still call cookies cookies. So what you as an American knows as a cookie, we still call a cookie. But what you know as a biscuit, our closest approximation to that would probably be what we call a scone or a scone.
Yeah, yeah, biscuits, like American biscuits, because they have those are savoury, don't they?
Yeah.
Biscuits and gravy. So yeah, that's different.
It's just like us calling chips, or you guys calling fries, and we call fries chips, for example.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because we do call them fries, but
they call crisps chips, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was about to say, Fox, but a certain type of fry in England we call a fry.
Yeah.
But if they're cut in a different shape, we'll call them chips because we're English and we're different.
Yeah, if it's a thin, stringy thing, it's a French fry. But if it's a chip, like a chunk of potato, then it's just a chip.
Yeah, because it's a chip of a potato. It does make sense.
But then you get things like crinkle cut chips and chippy chips and steak chips. And, ooh.
Yeah, and we call what you guys call chips. We call them crisps.
Yeah, potato crisps.
Yeah. It's very confuddling. And Eon's Car has confirmed it is mint-flavoured beef burgers.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
So,
nice.
I would give them a go, but in my head it sounds strange.
So
I would give it a go.
If it says mint flavour, does that mean it's just beef with mint in it? How do you make something taste like mint? You just add so it's just beef and mint.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like mint. I've grown very passionate about mint lately. It goes in most things. Not everything.
Paul Lewis says, according to Google, biscuits as we know them were developed in the Middle Ages, which rules the Americans out.
Yeah. They're only like 12 or something, the Americans.
That's more than likely true in what we know as biscuits. However, what the Americans know as cookies, they are a different thing, really. Whilst the ingredients are very similar,
a cookie's a big-ass biscuit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Big flat thing with chopped chips in it and stuff like that, or bits of whatever.
We tend to cook our biscuits, so if you've got bad teeth, you will break a tooth.
I suppose
a cookie is generally quite squidgy in the middle.
Yeah, cookies are soft and squishy. That's why I like them, because you just go blah blah blah. Whereas biscuits are not always, but biscuits are more hard. Now I really want like a whole mess of Golden Crunch creams.
So the Bobbins has spent the day walking around very old warships.
Ooh, nice.
And he feels a powerful urge to build a model of the HMS Victory. I say you should do it.
Yeah, because he's down Portsmouth docks at the moment.
Do it, but then accidentally get a space shuttle kit and stick boosters on it, make it a spaceship. Because you know what can go wrong.
No, that's a good choice.
I was going to say, I can't remember what I was going to say. I was going to say something. It's probably interesting. Probably. So, Si Reynolds.
Yes.
As you're not doing any buildy today, what has been on your bench recently? I know you've been busy house hunting and stuff, but when there has been things on your bench, what have you been buildulating or paintulating? Anything?
I've just been fondling, really, with
Fondling?
with the Wasbon Dakajet.
Ooh. Have you had a jolly good fondle with it?
I have, yeah.
You've been handling your bits. Oh, I fell out. Hang on. Let's go back. Stand by, people. Stand by for lack of action. Do.
He still hasn't noticed. There
I'm back now. I'm back now.
So I am annoyed, actually, because
Don't annoy the noid.
I went to all of the trouble to filling the inside of the engine bell, and then I decided that actually it does look better when you put the little bit of plasticard strip in.
Like I did.
So yeah.
Sometimes laziness is the best way forward. There's another one I've got to do somewhere, but I've forgotten where it is now.
Well,
it's in these little things. You've got more here. You've got little tiny ones on the inside of the ring.
It is completely filled, but I have put the little bit of strip in it because if you don't, there is the gap between the fins is too large.
Yeah, I mean, I made mine deliberately slightly longer than the ones around them just to make them stand out a little bit. But the only problem is on both of them, you still have like the flat disc at the bottom. But I'm hoping that I'm just going to paint that with some black ink and it'll just be so matte black that you actually see the gap down the middle of that.
Well, what you could do, which is what I did, is if you have an old extra thin brush, so you can extend it.
Yeah.
Just plop a drop big enough so it self-levels of sprue goo in the bottom, and it just self-levels it out.
Yeah, but I could do, but I know my look. I do that and I get a bead in it. It just look worse than the gap.
Well, the real risk with it isn't that. It's actually that you accidentally touch the side of the engine bell and then you get a massive blob of sprue goo where you don't want it.
I mean, I could make a little plastic circle to go in, but it seems like a lot of hard work when I can just use black ink and matte varnish and you won't really see that gap.
The real question is, do you have any old Gundam vents that would fit in there? It doesn't matter even if they don't reach the bottom of the engine bell, does it?
Any old what?
Like vents off of gunplicates or anything like that?
No. Not that I know of. Because it's just the flat, it's just the base, with the thing at the bottom.
I mean, realistically, no one's ever going to look at the engine bell that closely to see something.
And it will be dark in there. It will be carbon scorched anyway, so. I can't actually be bothered doing that, so. But I do need some plastic card because I need to put the little strips on those. You've reminded me. I do thank you.
My pleasure.
Hey.
See, Si, you served a public thing there. You reminded him that he had to go and get his plastic card.
You're a public thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But to do so, I did have to kind of admit that he was right, and it was very painful.
Can I just say?
You need to take a bit of time out for that, Si.
I can only have one response to that. If you imagine me walking forward doing the keep on trucking pose, like leg forward, arms out, but going, that's me going, yes. That's an old joke from one of my last jobs when we used to, on the last day before some days off, we'd walk out the gate going, doing this keep on trucking walk because we hated the place.
Well, I'll tell you the process. So I spent about...
Tell me your process.
45 minutes filling them both with milliput.
Yes.
Perfectly. They look great. And then I looked, once it had dried, I picked it back up, that little portion, because they weren't attached to the fuselage.
Your little portion.
Thanks. And I looked down the engine bell and I said, crap, he's right. The distance between the fins, where the seam is, it's too far. You do need to add a fin of your own there if you don't want it to look weird. So, yeah.
Glad I could help.
Damn, Si, I really do feel sorry for you, mate.
But the thing is, for me, it was more just a case of how the hell am I going to sand that? Because I haven't got... The only sandpaper I've got is really, high grit. So it's really smooth. And I haven't got any little tools that will fit in there that will do a good job without making a mess of it. So I was just you know what? I just can't be bothered. I haven't got the tools to do that, so...
I'm sure you do, but you're just not as perfectionist as some of us. For instance, on the front of that component, the engines...
Yes.
There's an intake vent.
Yeah, this bit here. I haven't filled in the thing down the side of that.
No, so I did. I just wrapped a bit of sandpaper around a plasticard rod, and then I've got a tubular sanding stick.
Ooh, I'd actually forgotten about that. But then you've got the thing I hate is the seam that goes down the middle of the actual grill on the inside because there's no way to fix that.
There is.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, go on,
I just I had some. You will not do it because it takes a little bit of effort, but
I don't do effort.
I had a sheet of 124 mesh intended for like grills for car kits. So I just cut a circle of that out, and now I've got mesh instead of the.
That's a good shot.
The intake fins, if you will.
Crap magnets. I had the perfect length of a little plastic card and it pinged and I've lost it. It's gone. It's vanished.
No, well, I cannot see it on your bench. So
no, it literally went. Beep. I felt it just. It didn't so much ping around as it just. 1 minute was there, the next minute it was just vaporized.
Yeah, but the thing is, once you've done the job and you're satisfied with it, you'll find it.
Exactly. It'll be in my I don't know, butt fold or something. I don't know, somewhere.
Is it in your brush cleaner pot? I think I can see something white. Oh no, it was just the little nipple in the centre of it.
Yeah, it's a little.
It was moulded.
Where did it get? It's craziness.
I reckon the carpet monsters have that.
It's entirely possible.
I bet you didn't feed the carpet monster before we went live either, so that's your first mistake.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Foxx done the Marcus. Foxx done the Marcus.
I haven't destroyed my lamps.
Lamps.
Look at the lampularity. Well, it was so small I wouldn't be able to see it anyway. Never mind, let's just make another one. Let's just hope I've got enough plastic card.
There is good news about me having to move though.
Good news, everybody.
In that, we're looking for a 2-bedroom flat, and I essentially get a cave again.
Yes.
Good man.
Yes.
So, I've been working out desk options, and I think I'm going to go with the classic IKEA kitchen worktop, which is nearly 3 meters long, and just plonk some cabinets under it.
Good man.
And I'll have a huge.
This seems
huge
like
space.
This seems very much. This seems very much like the correct thing to do.
Yeah.
Right, I shall. Rather than risk pinging that around, let me make a little mark. Where's my pencil? Gentlemen, start your pencils.
I'm waiting. I'm looking at that like a hawk to wait for it to just ping away.
Yes, it's going to go on an adventure, isn't it?
Kind of transfixing, Si, isn't it?
It is. It's beautiful.
Karma's a wonderful thing.
Right, so that's going to go there.
Oh.
Wait, no, because I put my finger over it, you see.
Doing.
I was watching you when you were cutting some photo etch of the day, Colin. You got a bit that pinged off when you cut it, and it was like, did you not have your finger over it or anything?
Yeah, it was on the. It had the adhesive background on it still as well, but it still flew up in the air. Landed right by me, back on me glue pot.
Yeah, you found it in the end, didn't you?
I was most happy.
Because you were like, right, I'm going to stop building now. You were like, no, I'm going to stop building now. And it was like, oh, I found it, yay.
Oh, was it a wibble?
No, there was a little bit of a wibble going on.
No, shut your nose. I said, I said I'm going to stop with that bit of photo etch and build something else. Stop putting words into my mouth, young fox.
I always put words into your mouth because they're really brilliant.
Yeah. See, so your facts were incorrect.
My facts were correct. Your facts were boring. I made them better.
Watch it back.
So, children, behave. Paul Di Tommaso has joined us in the chat. Hi, Paul.
Hello, Paul Di Tommaso. Willkommen auf dem Livestream. I'm off camera, aren't I? I can sense it.
You are, so we can't see when you stab yourself, which will happen momentarily, I'm sure.
No.
Yeah, fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything's crossed.
No such thing will occur.
That would just be so funny if it did now.
Well, I'm not actually doing any... Well, at the moment I'm not doing anything that involves stabity movements anyway. I'm merely placing things.
So how are you arming this WAS bomb of yours, Mr. Foxx?
I have... instead of the big shield generator thing, I put in the stick bomb launcher.
Yes.
Because to me, if you're an orc, being in a flying jet plane at thousands of miles an hour and yet just automatically lobbing grenades as a weapon is much more orky than something sensible like a shield generator.
Yeah, yeah.
So the idea of being in a high-speed vehicle like a plane and just throwing stick grenades out
Well, you've also got
So I've got that.
if it's ever been chased by like a Stormhawk gunship or something, like it would be the very orkiest thing not to have something like a big shooter trying to take that plane that's following you down. Just try and throw a grenade at it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Or the most special orcs would have like a grappling hook because they kind of forget how a grappling. They think this will be really cool without actually considering how it's going to work when they do grapple the enemy plane.
Well, I imagine they'd probably think, oh wait, if we grapple onto that, we'll go faster because we can use their engines too.
Exactly. It's only when it actually happens and this realization dawns, they'll be like, oh wait.
What?
Yeah, but if they think it's going to work, it'll work.
Yeah. True.
That is true.
But then for the rest of the weapons, I've just gone for whatever's on the actual default thing.
So,
I'm actually happy that it hasn't got lots of bombs and missiles because I really wasn't looking forward to painting lots of checker pattern.
Fair. So I haven't spoken to you since Games Workshop revealed the Sikaran battle tank.
Oh yes.
The tank that's vastly superior in every single way to the Baneblade. So what's your opinion of it?
Apart from it not being a Baneblade.
Yeah, but Baneblades are square and ugly.
So is the Sikaran apart from the round bit.
Yeah, but that gives it some interest.
Interest,
Don't you
mind
think?
bomb. No, I do like it actually. I do quite like it. It's I like because I like things like the Macarius tanks where they've got the 3/4 exposed tracks.
Yeah.
The thing I don't like about the Baneblade is that the tracks are mostly covered up, and it's a shame because I enjoy painting tracks and they always look really cool because they're magnets for your weathering and your rust effects.
Well, I think you can add a lot of character to a build with like some really nice tank weathering and stuff, can't you? So.
But that's the thing, like Lehman Russ's. On the other hand, though, things like Lehman Russ where it's all tracks are all exposed, I don't like them because the tracks aren't that interesting. But so I do like the look of the Sikaran, to be honest. Me personally, of course, I've never really had any interest in 30k stuff. But I can see myself getting some to build and paint and sell. Absolutely. Rhino,
they're fun tanks.
Yeah, they do. They do look nice. I like the look of them. I remember watching Leaky Cheese making a resin one, a Forge World one.
Yeah, they are just. Their images are quite deceptive because they haven't put them next to any other miniatures as of yet, from what I've seen. I think people instantly assume it's quite a large tank, but it's not that big.
No, it's not as big as a Baneblade. It's bigger than a Lehman Russ. It's like a half and half, isn't it?
I think it's about, from memory,
Is it
it's a little bit bigger, and I'm talking like a couple of centimeters to an inch larger than one of the
like a Predator or something?
repulsors.
Yeah, it's not a big tank.
It's not huge.
Well, no, but then again, let's not forget, part of the Baneblade's job sometimes is to carry like a whole mess of dudes.
Oh yeah.
Whereas, this tank is just a tank. So I will be getting one. Don't worry about that. The Rhino, it's a Rhino. Don't really care. But again, I can see myself getting them because they're easy to build and quick to paint. See,
the Rhino is cool for the simple reason that it gives me nostalgia.
Yeah.
Just because that Rhino is basically just a new tool of the Rhino kit that was the current Rhino kit when I first got into the hobby.
Yeah, but they've added like the front glasses plate and stuff to the old style, like the old Rhinos back in the old days. I've got one somewhere.
Yeah.
Steve B sent me one.
So, and I imagine it will be. It won't be as small as the old school Rhino. It will be the same scale as the current Rhino.
Yeah, it'll be the normal Rhino kit. Either they'll. Excuse me, I do apologise. I was about to say they'll just stick an extra sprue in the Rhino kit, but then again they're going to separate 40k and Horus Heresy, so it won't be. It might be the same. I think it'll either be they'll either swap a sprue out for the Horus Heresy Rhino, or you'll get whichever one you buy, the 40k, you'll just get the original kit with the extra sprue, I reckon. Whichever one you buy, it's just a different box. I don't know, because it's going to share a lot of parts, isn't it? Basically.
I'm actually I only very quickly glanced at it, so I'm going to look at that kit or the Warhammer community kit post and see what I think.
But yeah, no, I like the look of the Sikaran, and there's two variants now. The only thing that makes me worried is That's all very well and good, but there were rumours of a new tank for 40k, and I'm eager to see if that's the case or if this was the actual tank they were on about. Because I want to know if there's something I can do for my army if I ever bit around to building one, but also something I can deathcore up.
So I think what they will have done is they will have scraped the design files for the current Rhino to maintain the shape, but they've taken all the detail off it and then they've built it from there. So it will be completely new molds and a completely separate kit, I think, looking at it.
Could be. I mean, there might be some bits it shares, but that, you know, it might be like you got maybe one sprue of bits that's a shared. I don't know. They'll try and make it as economical as possible.
From what I can see, the whole top plate might be the same.
Yeah.
But the sides of the Rhino are going to be completely different.
Yeah, and you've got the two door things on the front, which isn't.
Yeah, but the way the Rhino's built, that'll just be.
It's a swap-outable plate, isn't it? If you can get a forge wheel plate for your plastic Rhinos. So
I think the Rhino comes on 2 sprues. It might just be one new sprue and a rehashed old sprue, maybe.
But like I say, that one, they do interest me from the point of the Sakaran does look like a lot of fun to build and paint. The Rhino doesn't really interest me, but like I said, it looks like a quick build and hopefully therefore a quick paint job because it's just a box. So in terms of me building to sell, I'm quite interested in that.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think what I'm most surprised about is how they're gonna price the huge box with like 40 Marines in the Spartan.
Yeah, I reckon you're gonna be looking at about 180.
Yeah, but for 40 Space Marines, a tank, and a Dreadnought, given Games Workshop's recent pricing, that's a bargain.
Oh god, yeah.
Stop myself just in time.
Yeah.
Whew. But yeah, just, when it was first revealed, like last year, there were leaked images of what the box was going to contain, and they were spot on because it was literally a leaked image of the back of the box.
Well, yeah, there's no real wiggle room there, was there?
No, but less than £200/$300 when most people thought it was going to be pushing £300 or upwards of $450.
No, I don't think that. I reckon it's going to be about 180.
Well, they said it will be.
Oh, is it? Is that what they said? It's 180.
They have confirmed that it will cost less than £200
oh, right.
or $300.
Yes.
So realistically, that means one of three things.
199.99.
Well, no, because they never do that.
No, they don't, do they?
It would be 180, 190, or 195.
Because the thing is, they always have. The thing to keep in mind is when you get these box sets, there is always a slight bit of a deal to be had. They never, if the total cost of all the things in it is like 200 quid, they wouldn't sell it for 200 quid. They sell it for 170, 180. They always give you a bit of a bonus. Like the Knights Renegade set, you get 2 Imperial Knights and some scenery. It was 120 quid. Well, one Knight's £95, so hello.
Yeah.
I think Colin's falling asleep though.
No, I'm
all right,
with us,
mate. I'm
just painting. Yeah, I'm with us.
What are you doing? What are you painting?
I am painting my ultra. I'm just listening intently.
Ooh. I haven't got a tent.
I'm listening intently, mate, because I know nothing of what you're on about these tanks, because that would involve me going onto websites and scrolling up.
Oh dear, no.
That is true.
This will never happen, not ever. I don't know why I went French there.
Listening intently, mate.
I'm trying to work out how much I think it will all retail for separately.
Because already my brain's thinking, purchases.
Yeah, maybe. So there's 10 Terminators. 4 Terminators would be 40 quid. So that's instantly 80 quid.
Yeah.
Your 2 characters would be at least like 25, 250 each. So yeah, we'll go with 25. The tank probably about the same price as a Land Raider because it is a Land Raider variant.
What's that, about 45 quid?
No, they're like 70 quid.
Are they? Ooh, wow.
They were 50 quid when they released 20 years ago. I will find out. They are. Oh no, you're right. So the Land Raider by itself is 52.50, but the Land Raider with the extra sprue in it is like 70 quid.
Yeah, I did wonder because even though it doesn't make any sense a lot of the time, you do start to get a feel for the kind of prices for things, don't you? For again, like there's that kind. They'll try and stick for figures. They'll stick around the 15 to 25 quid. Then you've got the like 40 to 50 quid for vehicles, and then only with outliers being the exception ones like Baneblades and Knights and stuff.
So you're sitting at about 360 quid for the miniatures, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come back to you in a second, Andy, because it's not. But I will touch on that because, well, that's what they want you to think. And then the rulebook, which they would charge 40 quid for. So you're looking at 400 quid for it all separately. But Andy, you say that the Heresy box means it's effectively an army in a box. But it's not. 30k. So if you were playing a game of 40k, you've got two solid armies there, probably about 1,000 points each. But
yeah, that's like your Warhammer Conquest kind of size, isn't it?
Yeah, in terms of 30k, no. Like, you could keep the whole box for yourself and just paint them all as one chapter, and you don't really have a competitive force for a good game of Heresy. Like,
Why? Are they large scale? Are they really big scale?
The miniatures cost less. So, say you want to play a 2,000 point, let's say a 1,500 point game of Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
Which is generally kind of the smallest game that people really want to play.
Yeah.
Like, you could play 1,000 points or 500 points, but no one's ever truly happy with that because you don't get to field anything chunkier, which is where the fun normally lies for people.
It's more like a skirmish than that sort of level, is it? Yeah.
So you say 1,500 points, which gives you a sizable chunk, and I'm not sure if everything in this box would even make 1,500 points.
Oh wow! So if I was to get one of them box sets, to build and paint and sell, would it be more sensible for me to either to build it and paint it as two opposing forces, or to build and paint it all as one single chapter?
Well, I guess it depends what you want from the sale, really.
That's what I'm saying. What would be better for me if I was just building it purely to paint it and sell it on? What's more likely? Would somebody be more likely to buy it because it's two different armies, or would they more likely to buy it because it's one big collection of Imperial whatever, or fists, or whatever that is? If I painted everything as the same chapter.
Well, you would get two different buyers realistically if you painted it as two different chapters. And then the question would be, the thing is, if you bought this box, you have the question of, are you painting it for someone to display, or are you painting it for someone to game with?
Yeah.
Because if you're painting it for someone to game with, you've got to really start thinking about magnetization. If there's options in the box, and I don't know if there is.
Yeah. But
there's probably going to be options for the Dreadnought and maybe for the Land Raider.
That's true.
And then, are you going to paint it as kind of a recognizable chapter, like Fists or Blood Angels? Or...
Oh yeah. If I was doing it to sell it, I wouldn't paint it as some made up nonsense. You'd have to do it as a off the shelf chapter, because nobody's gonna. Yeah, there's no point making up a chapter because nobody's gonna buy that, are they? If they won't have their army.
Again, it depends what you're painting it for.
Purely to build and paint, sell. If I was painting it purely to flip it.
Yes, but to display or to game.
Oh, I see what you mean. I get you.
If it's for display purposes, then in theory you could make up a chapter with some very cool fluff and lore, which you could type up nicely and print out on nice paper with some funky art attached.
But then I am limiting myself to people that want to just display it, I suppose.
Well, yeah.
So.
But then, if you want to paint it to sell, you've got to ask yourself what chapters are people really interested in.
Yeah.
Like, you're pretty safe with Alpha Legion or Imperial Fist
Yeah.
because it's on the box art.
Or Ultramarines.
You more or less want to go for the most common chapters, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in terms of for yourself, yes, you're doing it to sell, but what else can you get out of it? If you paint it as two separate armies, will you enjoy the process more if you're painting two different colour schemes instead of 40 Marines in yellow or red, for example?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Will you get more potential YouTube content out of it if you paint different chapters? The answer is probably yes.
If I filmed it, yeah.
Well, but if you're buying something to sell, surely you're investing that money to make money. So surely the best option would be to make the most money from your investment possible, which means content.
Yeah, but the downside is, of course, then it takes like 100 times longer to do it. Whereas sometimes, like with the Vanquisher and the Baneblades, it was a case of get them done as quick as I can just to get them sold because I needed the money. So it's a balancing act.
And then the final question is, would you literally buy and paint it as is, or would you buy some of the heavy weapons sets they're releasing
Yeah, add to it, yeah.
To add some variety to the tactical squads, because that's what people's going to want.
And put the price up.
But if you do that, then you're going to have to bring in magnetization, because those boxes with heavy weapons give you a metric F ton of options, which is what people will want, but they will probably want magnetization.
Yeah, so they can swap around.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there's a lot of ways to look at it, I think. But in terms of the box value-wise, I think the boxes, it will hold its value better than a lot of some of the more recent ones. Cough, cough, Necromunda.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which I hear they're struggling to sell, but you know.
The thing is, there will be people that get that because it's Horus Heresy. There'll be a lot of people that don't play Horus Heresy, and they'll get that whole set just to start playing Horus Heresy, because it's almost like a big introduction set, isn't it? Basically.
Well, there's also another angle. There is a swath of people that completely detest Warhammer 9th edition.
Yeah.
Horus Heresy is built upon 40k 7th edition, which a lot of people really enjoyed. So a lot of people will turn to the Horus Heresy for a reimagined version of 40k. The 40k, which they considered to be the last good version of 40k.
Was it just Space Marines in the Heresy period, or was there no Imperial Guard or?
Yes.
Or other forces?
To be honest, because you're just going to have to take this on the chin, because in the Astartes' minds, Imperial Guard are vastly inferior to an Astartes. They will have just been wiped out as soon as they stepped on the battlefield.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of the game, though, I mean.
Well, so other factions will be playable in the game, but realistically, they're probably going to be quite broken. Yeah. Because
it's targeted towards Space Marines and Xenos.
Yes. Well, just Space Marines, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Even the Xenos, the rule set won't be as fleshed out.
Because it's focused on the actual heresy itself.
It's focused on the heresy and like the fall of terror and all of that kind of thing. So I can see they might do a campaign book later down the line where they might bring in some Xenos, because there is some moments in the lore where the Xenos were like, they took an opportunistic moment because of the heresy to attack like an Imperial stronghold or a world.
Well, it would make sense to have things like even though the heresy is focusing on the Space Marines, it would kind of make sense to have at least some of the Chaos factions that cause the problem. So, like the Death Guard. I know Mortarion. I don't know if technically Mortarion would have been the Primarch at that point. It depends, I suppose, when it's set. If it's before or after that point.
No, he
or Abaddon.
the Primarchs are always the Primarchs. They have always been the Primarchs.
Okay, so they're still there. Okay.
So there were 20 Primarchs that were taken and made directly from the Emperor's genes.
Oh, I know the lore from them, but I don't know.
Yeah, so they were always the Primarchs.
But in the heresy, while the heresy fighting is going on that you're playing in heresy games, are the Primarchs still Primarchs running their Space Marines, or have they at this point turned into the Demon Prince type versions? So, like, could you have, as an adjunct to your Death Guard Space Marines, could you also have some Chaos or Death, things that would later count as Death Guard, like the Poxwalkers? Would they kind of exist at that point?
So realistically, it would depend what point in the heresy.
Yeah.
Like that might come towards the end.
That's what I'm saying.
Initially, as they started to turn to chaos,
it's just the Space Marines, isn't it?
They're just Space Marines that have gone heretical, and then as they got more and more involved in chaos and the religion, for lack of a better word, like that's when you'll start to see kind of mutations and stuff. So it would depend.
I think it would be good if they really want to make, because I know the heresy is quite popular, but it's not in the public guy. It's not big like 40. Most people say it's 40k in Sigmar and that's it. Most people know it as that. I think it would be good if they expanded it a little bit, so you could have things like people that like to play Imperial Guard, for example, can now play, as well as Space Marines, they can play some like turned to Chaos Imperial Guard or Loyalist Imperial Guard, because we've seen Chaos Imperial Guard before in Black Fortress, haven't we? So we know it happens. But like, not that you wouldn't like have somebody like playing an Imperial Guard army against Space Marines, but it might be there's Imperial Guard elements they can put in with their, Loyalist armies or Chaos Space Marine armies.
I mean, that'll be written there.
Yeah.
But it will. The problem is, if you start to do that, it just becomes
40k.
It just becomes 9th edition, which no one likes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true, I suppose.
Because the way they'll do it is they would write that in as detachments.
Yeah.
The problem with the 40k rule set as it stands is everything is written to sell more miniatures.
It is written.
It's not like it used to be, or at least how it used to feel, whereby the rules were written by people that actually love to play 40k.
Yeah.
Now it just feels like the rules are written to
for
sell
marketing purposes. Yeah. Takes the biscuit, doesn't it? Because isn't that kind of the game losing its way now? Then,
how
they're going.
The game has lost its way. Like there's so many people that like across the pandemic there were a huge array of YouTubers that were completely boycotting GW, and a lot of their audience did the same just because of their pricing practices.
Yeah.
It's like you can't really justify 300 quid or $300, sorry, for that most recent version of Necromunda, which was, for lack of a better term, a fancy Ewok village and about 13 miniatures.
Oh yeah, it basically was an Ewok village, wasn't it? What were they asking for that?
I think it was about, I don't know, I'll have a look.
Because it literally was that Ewok village and 20 dudes and a couple of dudes on spiddly spider things, and that was about it.
So it's 180 quid for the Ewok village, the rule book, and tell me how many miniatures. 26 miniatures.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Yeah. And this is the thing, they then change the rules and half of what you've got becomes unplayable then.
I mean, considering you get like more than that in like what used to be a start collecting, but now in like what do you call it? What they called now? Not Battle Force, not start collecting. Combat Patrols. Yeah.
So
we're in a Battle Force. The Battle Forces don't cost that much.
Realistically, anyone in the hobby accepts that Games Workshop miniatures are hideously overpriced.
Yeah.
we all know this. We all know that it doesn't cost 60 quid to make a tank kit. It just doesn't.
But it's a bit
even when you factor in tooling and whatnot, it is, for lack of a better metaphor, it's like Apple tax, but in tabletop miniatures.
Yeah, but it's in a way though, it's no different to, there's nothing really that makes a Ferrari worth 100 times more than a Ford Fiesta, really. It's a car, has an engine, it has components, if you boil it down to the bits and bobs. But some things just have a higher price, I suppose. It's just kind of taken that some things are expensive and some things are cheap, I guess.
Brand snobbery, mate.
Yeah. I think people in more recent years, when I was a lad, it was great. When I was a lad, you'd pay £20 to £22 for a box of 5 Terminators, and now I think you're looking close to 40 for exactly the same kit as 20 years ago.
Yeah. That
kit has not been rehashed. It hasn't been remolded or anything, and you're looking at 20 quid more. Like, to a lot of people, I think, and in other industries, except things like classic cars.
Yeah.
A 20-year-old product wouldn't necessarily mature in value when it's still being manufactured. If it had gone out of print, yes, obviously you might expect a price rise. But if that product is still in print and has been in print for 20 years, you wouldn't expect such a hike in price.
But the thing is, at the end of the day, ultimately, that's the same for every single product in the world. Every product you can think of that cost X 20 years ago now costs more, even though it's the same product. I suppose that you have to look at it and say, well, yeah, you're still getting the same thing, but I know they're overpriced anyway, but even if you look at just the cost of making it, the cost of making it will have gone up relevant to inflation and everything else over the last 20 years. So I know they're still overpricing it, and that's not taken as a dispute, but the whole thing of this cost half as much 20 years ago for products is like, well, yeah, but now they cost, even if they use the same materials, they probably cost more to make. I suppose.
I think where a lot of people have issues is that there are a lot of manufacturers that make miniatures that are just as good for a lot less.
But that's the thing, though, isn't it? That's what I was saying about. But that's like saying, why does this Ferrari cost 1,000 times more than a Ford Fiesta?
Yeah, but they're in different markets.
Yeah, that's the.
But miniatures aren't.
I suppose they are. There's still a sort of a brand hierarchy, I guess.
Well, hear me out for a sec. If you look at Warlord games or Fantasy Flight games,
yeah,
and then you look at Games Workshop, they are competitors.
Yeah.
If you look at the car market, you don't look at Ford as a competitor to Ferrari. Realistically, you look at Porsche or Lamborghini, or Koenigsegg, for example. So why is it that competitors to GW, like Fantasy Flight or Warlord, I can spend exactly the same amount of money and have sometimes, quite often, 2 or 3 times the amount of miniatures of the same quality for the same money?
True.
And but I'm talking about like Star Wars Legion here.
Yeah.
So with IPs that in theory could very easily charge me exactly the same amount of money as Games Workshop.
Yeah, because you've got to pay for the licensing cost. But
yeah, because it's attached to Star Wars, for example.
At the end of the day, though, I mean, ultimately, I just take the pragmatic view of it's a business. They'll charge they'll charge the most they can afford to charge without harming the sales. And if it went belly up, then they'd be like, okay, we maybe might be taking it a bit too far. But if a company makes a product and it's cost them £1 to make and they can sell it for £2, that's great. If they suddenly find people still buy it when they charge £10, they're not going to not charge £10.
No, so I agree.
And I suppose the smaller companies like Warlord Games and stuff, ultimately they're trying to compete with Games Workshop, who've been around for a lot longer, so they're of course going to charge less because they want to be seen as more competitive. If Warlord Games had been around first and Games Workshop was the new upstart, they'd probably be the other way around. So
yeah, but
you're not wrong, but
where people have taken issue with Games Workshop recently
yes.
is that they saw a huge uptake in sales in the pandemic, and they've just continued to hike prices. And in 2021, they have actually lost sales.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about a couple of million. I'm talking about tens of millions of pounds in profits that they no longer have. Yet they're still rising prices.
Well, that's capitalism for you, isn't it? That's how it works.
It is, but they're just losing customers. They're just pushing customers away.
Yeah.
There are so many people that have left the hobby in favour of a different tabletop war game because of their practices.
But maybe that is. I mean, that's probably. I would suspect that is the case, and you're right. But maybe that's the case. But there's enough people coming into it unknowing of all this that it's not might become a problem yet for them, and that's why they've not changed. If they were losing customers hand over fist and there was no uptake of new ones, they might start to panic a bit. But maybe there's enough because they're trying to make it more beginner friendly, aren't they? That's the whole point of all this new stuff. So maybe there's enough new coming in that
I think that's
they've not yet started panicking.
That's a hard argument to make when they've lost 30% of their profit in the space of 6 months.
True, but could that not be something more simple? Like after with the lockdowns and stuff, people started spending more money, but now it's been a couple of years and people have been struggling for money. It's just people tightening their belts.
I see that counter argument.
That could be part of it. So I suppose you've got to take. It might be a case of don't pull the trigger just yet because it might get better. Maybe.
Yeah, but their profits are now lower than they were before the pandemic. So I personally do not think they are responding to their customer base quickly enough.
This would not surprise me. I mean, look at the history.
This is the trouble when you've got the monopoly on a market. Suddenly they think that they're infallible, and like you say, they're making themselves a target now because the customers are deserting them for other suppliers.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is one of the largest issues, is people think they have the monopoly. Like, you think they have the monopoly, Cole, and they only have that because they build, their entire product is built around making hobbyists believe that they are the only option.
Yeah,
I mean, from my point of view, it's the name I hear the most mentioned, GW. Therefore, I'm going to assume they're the only company that does this type of thing.
Because if for a lot of people, like Cole makes the perfect point there. A lot of people, if you said tabletop gaming, and obviously you assume that somebody knows that doesn't mean like playing, a board game, they'd say either Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer,
GW,
and that'd be it. Because they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know about. Most people wouldn't know about like Warlord Games or Star Wars Legion or any of those. The average man on the street might know Games Workshop, and
that is what they've done so well in the last 30 years.
It's only because they've been around since the mid '80s. People know Dungeons and Dragons and Warhammer because they've been around for 45 years.
I mean, I've heard of Warlord Gaming, but I don't know what they do or whatever. But because I'm a noob to all of this, it's one of those. The names I hear the most common are GW and D&D, and that's why I find this interesting. Yeah,
it's more than that, Cole. When you started getting into Warhammer, not only did you buy the kits, but what else did you buy?
Oh yeah, you buy all the peripherals, the accessories.
You bought a whole new range of paints when in fact you realistically had paints that were of the same, if not better quality.
Yeah.
Because it's what the box told you needed.
Absolutely.
And that is where GW succeeds so well, because it gets you in.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as razor companies. Look at Gillette. We'll sell you this razor and 3 blades. they give it away at such a cheap price because they know when you go to buy the replacement blades, they've got you by the short and curlies.
Yep.
That's where they make their money. Printers and cartridges. You buy an inkjet printer, it's dirt cheap. You get some test cartridges. You go out and buy the cartridges, they're just as expensive as a new bloody printer.
But the thing that amuses me, doesn't really irritate me, but it amuses me a little bit, is that, you know, people see that, what Colin said there, you know, they kind of, they hook you into the environment, and people look at that and see it as something bad, when it's like, dude, that's how every company's worked forever since the invention of business. It's, people look at it and say, oh, Games Workshop are evil. It's like, trust me, if Warlord Games could charge more for their models, they would. If Warlord Games had a paint range, they'd put that on there. It's the people that, like, cry about it and go to the ambulance, and it's like, it's how business works. You have to be, it's annoying, and you guys are absolutely right, it's annoying, but I'm like, companies charge what they want.
At the end of the day, it is what it is. You're not going to change it. It's their business model, and it's making them very wealthy people. But as you get more into it, you do see, like Si said about different paint ranges. Yeah. You look at the equivalents and you go, but I've already got that, so I don't need that Citadel paint now. I don't need that one. I don't need that one. But yeah,
it's more just the people that see that as a bad thing, and if you suddenly made them the owner of a company that did, that had miniatures and paints, they do exactly the same. Oh, yeah. But people seem to forget that.
They don't. If you look at Warlord Games as an example, they just partnered with the army painter.
Well, yeah, because it's cheaper to do that than develop your own range paints.
Well, exactly, but they still sell like tons of miniatures. I think. So I'm not complaining about how GW operate.
No, I know you're not complaining.
I personally think the last 30 years, GW, their business practices and their marketing team, they're genius. They do for the longest time. My entire scope of modelling was just within GW stuff. Yeah. But I think people in the chat are also highlighting the fact that people are suddenly realising, they've started to realise over the last few years since the release of really, really good domestic level resin printers that they don't need to pay 60 or 70 quid for a kit.
Yeah. And
I think GW, they're just been really, really slow on the uptake. If they, like we've had this discussion before, like if they released an STL for a full squad of Orks, for example, or Space Marines, for 15 quid, and they somehow made that STL file one-time use,
very easy to do.
They would sell them so much.
Well, that's what I've said before in the past. I think that's what you'll see eventually is when it becomes to that point that it's ubiquitous enough. Model making companies, be they GW or anybody, will start to do that kind of split SKU where they'll offer the digital versions with limited usage, because the options are you either don't do that and you lose out on people that just get the third party ones off Shapeways, or you actually offer it and therefore you're making the money off that rather than them going to find some free version on Shapeways. So I think any company that didn't do that would be stupid.
I think people aren't even going to Shapeways anymore, dude. Like, obviously they are.
Or however they're doing it, scanning something in, anything like that.
If you look at all of the third-party retailers of 40k bits now, like say Cromlech, for example. Yeah. If you go to Cromlech, you have the option of buying an STL or buying a kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so many patrons and just general companies where you can go buy an amazingly sculpted miniature, but you just buy the STL.
I think Games Workshop reluctance would probably be, I could see how it would be from the point of security of their license. So it'd be like, yes, we'd make the money, but unfortunately we're then putting these like reproducible CAD files of our actual product out on the market, which is asking for problems.
Yeah,
So
but
maybe they're looking at it like
Sanix-
that.
Sanix get round it, Sanix 3D, because they encrypt the metadata. So in the metadata, when you download it, as it downloads, it puts your IP address in there. Now, if it can do that, then surely within the executable, when you send that to print, it'll read that you've had a successful print. Therefore, the next file, a bit like they do with the £10 notes and our money, is they have the little algorithm, don't they, that picks up on an ordinary inkjet printer that you're trying to copy money.
Oh yeah, there's all secret stuff built into it.
Yeah, it'll print out that warning, won't it? They could do the same on the file.
Yeah.
Quite easily.
There are so many ways as well. If you think it wouldn't even be that hard to come up with effectively a CD key system.
Yes.
You buy the STL, you get emailed the STL file, and a one-time use STL key.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You put that in to your slicer of choice, and once you've, as soon as you move that over to a flash drive to put it onto your printer,
that's it.
The file's gone. It's done.
Yeah.
And it can't be used again.
But what happens if But then how can they track if the print gets screwed up? Like if you print it all off and it finishes, but you look at it and it's all garbage because it's all morphed or whatever.
If you had let me finish, you could have gone straight into Wi-Fi. You load the drive. As soon as it does it, it calls home. It verifies the successful file. It verifies that it's printed. Upon completion, the printer then rings home again to say print completed at such and such and such. Bang. That's it.
But what if the print's completed but it's wrong? Like you've got a load of printing errors. If you've only got one use, how do they get around that?
You can easily prove that with photographic. Chuck an email.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's easy enough to do, Foxx.
That would work.
It's just like if you buy something from Forge World now, and it turns up wrong, you just email them, and they will generally do their best to fix it. Even
that would work.
Because
there are ways.
I suppose the other thing with Games Workshop as well, I mean, it probably applies to other companies to a certain degree, but I suppose one of the other reasons that they're often quite slow off the mark at adapting to things is probably partly because their production cycle is like 2 years ahead. So, like, you'll know yourself, the painting team's painting stuff that we're not going to see for like another 18 months. So, the fact that the market suddenly changes or something happens, like, COVID or whatever, or, where they might want to look at the pricing or the products they're making, they've already actually got the next 2 years worth of stuff in the pipeline being designed and printed and built and painted and everything. So I suppose it's like being a big ocean-going oil tanker. You can carry a lot of cargo, but by God, if you have to turn around, it's going to take you a day. And you've got like a 10-mile stopping distance.
I mean,
maybe
that is a good point.
By their nature, maybe they're not very manoeuvrable, if you know what I mean.
I think if they don't jump on it in the next couple of years, they're screwed.
Yeah. I think they will. I think they'll just do it slowly because they're just a big, fat tanker ship.
The thing is, everyone knows that these days, all of their miniatures are rapid prototypes. And they are all 3D printed before the molds are even made. So they have the files. They could literally, like, if they wanted to announce it tomorrow, I'm reasonably sure within a year their entire range would be 3D printable. Because they've already got the files for the majority of their kits. And it would be a great opportunity to phase out older kits.
Yeah, you've only got to save the CAD files as stereolithography or OBJs, and that's it, done.
And there's another thing that they could consider as well, which they probably have thought of. Right now, the one thing that makes people really mad is when they build an army and suddenly, the models are no longer available, or they're no longer supported because they've stopped making that particular thing, like Steel Legion or whatever it is, and they're like, great, I've got all this stuff now and I can't do anything with it. If they had like people able to download files, what it would mean is that basically they would never have to sunset anything, because they could just have stuff in print that they make, but stuff that they need to discontinue, like whatever, let's say it's a particular faction, then or whatever, like Steel Legion or something like that, that they decide, right, we're not going to really make these anymore because nobody really buys them, but they'll just make it as a downloadable so that those who want can still buy them. Because if they stop production of a model, that's it, gone. They can't sell it because it doesn't exist. But if they stop production of a model but they offer the files for 3D printers, they're not going to sell many of them, but they're going to make some money because people can do it. So if people that maybe had a Kasakin Force 15 years ago, you can't buy them now, but they could make money by saying, we're not going to release them again because they were metal, we've got some file, we'll redo them a little bit and stick them in a digital file, whatever. So if you see what I mean, they can still make money off stuff that they can discontinue rather than just like shutting the door and saying they no longer exist.
I mean, that's true, but going back to
I wonder if they thought
the
of that.
issue of the issue of piracy that you raised.
Yes.
When you think about it, most media industries are pirated.
Yeah.
Think of movies, music, even think of miniatures. There are so many companies out there now that make third-party parts, like Cromlech and whatnot, and so many people buy them that I just think the portion of the market that wouldn't be willing to pay 15 quid instead of 35 quid for a tactical squad, for example, they need to get on it. They really do.
Just they say, right, from now on we will offer all people 3D printable files, and then you'd hear the sound of 1,000 recast companies in Russia just going out of business.
So Richard Thomas, Scale Model World.
Hello, Richard Thomas, Scale Model World.
And he says that not everyone can buy a 3D printer or the know-how with 3D printing. That is very true. However, my counter-argument to that is there are lots and lots of people in the world that have got over £500 of money in a single Warhammer army. Now, I know, because I've been looking at them the last few weeks, I can pick up an Elegoo Saturn for a lot less than £500. And when I started painting, I didn't know how to paint. When I started airbrushing, I didn't know how to airbrush. The first time I went for a poop in my life, I probably thought, what the hell is happening? But we learn.
How the hell did you get that on the poop?
I think probably your parents thought that the first time you pooped rather than you thought that. You were just like, way!
But my point is, no one is born with the knowledge of how to 3D print.
Yeah.
It's a learning process. No one is born with the knowledge of how to model. But we've got Foxx in front of us, somewhat incompetently modelling, and Colin doing a fantastic job because they've
somewhat incompetently modelling.
Well,
3D printing has been a wonderful journey because it's gotten me back to using CAD software that was sitting here dormant because I used to use CAD software all the time. So I've been able to revisit a lot of my design stuff, and I've just played with the files. That for me is the more I enjoy designing the files and editing STLs than I do the printing process, because once you've sent it to print, the printer's doing it.
Yeah.
Whereas creating it and adding to it and chopping it and modifying it, I love all of that.
Yeah. I mean, to further Simon's point, and Richard's point, not everybody can afford a 3D printer, but 10, 15 years from now, who knows? But even if only a small percentage of people have a 3D printer that can do decent 3D prints, that's still a percentage of people that Games Workshop could sell things to, which is more money than they'd have if they didn't sell them to them.
Oh yeah, if I had the choice of getting a licensed GW STL file that would print in the high def quality that they moulded,
it would just cost a little bit less. Yeah,
I would happily go and buy their files because I've got the tools to print them.
Yeah, I think
I've got no problem with that.
The point being, really, I think the fact that not everybody has a 3D printer isn't a reason for GW not to offer that service to people, because
I think they're mad that they haven't, to be honest.
I think they will. I think they just haven't. Like I said before, I think they're a slow-moving cargo ship that takes them a while to turn. Yeah.
Muse is saying she didn't think she'd get a printer, and she's got two. Same here. I've got me filament and me resin. I think they end up getting a Saturn or a Jupiter at some point. So yeah.
I think
realistically,
I think GW will do eventually. They're just very slow to do these things.
All they need to do is introduce it.
Yeah.
And they keep
Oh, hello, we've fallen out. Hang on 1 second. Stand by, stand by.
Also,
And we're back.
He's back. Yeah, so they need to introduce it. They need to keep manufacturing miniatures for 5 to 10 years. And in that 5 to 10 years, all they need to do is assess their sales of tangible kits versus STLs, and they can start to ramp down their production accordingly.
Well,
which would
yeah, I'd like them to keep doing that though.
yeah,
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, if Games Workshop were doing that and you wanted a load of STL files for a particular army, I would get them, print them out, and go, there you go,
Yeah.
job done. So you've got someone that will print them out for you.
And there's one other thing I just thought of while I was flailing to get back in just then. There's another trick that Games Workshop are missing, and that is the Hero Forge angle, which is you can go into a shop or online, you can buy your Games Workshop kit if you want a physical kit, or if you've got a 3D printer and you want to spend £10 less because they're not having to actually make anything, you can get the STL and print it. Or how about they also give you the option to design your own miniatures, like not too much, but perhaps you can do some custom designs on Imperial Guards. They've all got different heads.
Didn't you have that option already available? Is it Stormforge or someone where you can go in and design your own D&D characters?
Yeah, there's Hero Forge, which does that.
That's the one, Hero Forge. I know they had
But
Forge in it.
that's what I'm saying. But I mean, they could do that as well. They could offer that. I mean, they wouldn't obviously let you do a lot, but it'd be things like you buy a STL of 10 Imperial Guard, but here are like 50 different heads, and you can mix and match and print them out however you want. So you don't have to download the pack with 50 heads. You just get, and you can maybe tweak them around and give them different poses and different weapons, or even just design your own named character. So you can make that kind of thing. They're missing a trick. They could do that as well.
So there's a few things. One, the wonderful Lynn Dipple has joined us.
Hi, Lynn.
Hello, Lynn.
I hope you're okay.
I'm just turning off all my notifications.
Richard has a good point in that some people may not want to learn. That's fine, but what I'm suggesting and what I think Foxx and Cole are suggesting is that they change their business model to offer either.
Yeah, they need to still offer kits in boxes for people like me who have no intention of getting a 3D printer till I can literally plug it in and go. But
the thing is, they would save money in the long run.
Yeah,
they would save money in storage of product they've made to sell.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, unless they've expanded over at Lenton in Nottingham, their headquarters, they have 5 warehouses. They have a huge complex. And those warehouses are just for stock, and then they have a completely separate manufacturing facility within the same.
They did expand the factory, didn't they, about a year and a half, 2 years ago?
So they could actually change their business model to a JIT system just in time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Save them an absolute fortune.
Well, the thing is, they do already have the on-demand option where you can. Usually, each month they'll have a different selection of things where they'll offer a kit that's not production anymore. But they'll do what do they call it? Size it on demand or something.
Yeah, so it's
Here are some Eldar that we released 20 years ago. We haven't bought for 10 years. You can we'll print them off for a bit.
They do 2 things. They do made to order.
That's it, made to order. That's what it's called.
But then they also do last chance to buy.
Yeah.
But something else has just occurred to me, which would get them so many more subscribers. Most people are aware that their Warhammer Plus service is kind of not really doing what they want it to do.
Yeah, because it's not really worth it.
In terms of subs, there are some people that we know that love it and are happy to keep subscribing. There are other people that subscribe for the full year for the free miniature, and they maybe haven't watched it in 6 months.
Well, it's mostly just not very good animation, isn't it? So really,
yes,
it's not really a lot of value there. What they could
do is they could, every month you could get or choose from either like an exclusive model STL that's exclusive to Warhammer Plus, or they could open up a list of STLs in relation to old, no longer in print kits, which would probably appeal to quite a few people.
Yeah.
Or you could even just get 1 free STL a month for a kit of your choice, something like that.
See, I think making STLs available initially just as a test, just to like Warhammer Plus members, might be an interesting way to test it. Because then they can just say, let's just put this out there. Let's give people the option if they're a Warhammer Plus member, see what happens, and then that's a good way for them to test the whole thing. But
so, Marcy, is loot the service? It's a bit like a loot box for STLs. You get like a couple of miniatures a month.
Yeah,
STLs.
yeah. It's basically a 3D model site that you subscribe to each month, and you get loads and loads of beautiful figures.
Yeah. So if GW implemented something similar for Warhammer Plus, people would sub. It's literally as simple as that in my brain.
Yeah. That formula, Marcy, would actually work really well.
Colin, I'm doing scratch building.
Oh, you go careful.
I'm not. I'm just putting little bits of plastic card to cover gaps, and I put rivets on.
Yeah, but bro, for you, that is.
Did you just say bro?
Bashing.
Did you just say bro?
I say bro a lot, just not around you two old fogies.
Dear.
Also, I'd like to point out that you said it a few weeks ago, and it occurred to me the other day that most days when I cannot be bothered to wear a hat, when I cannot be bothered to do my hair, I wear a cap backwards. So,
Oh dear.
yeah, like me.
Why not just wear a cap like a normal human being?
Oh dear. I held you in very high esteem up until that moment.
Yeah, why not? Why not just wear a cap like an actual?
Do you do the gangster walk? Yeah, man, innit?
No. But the thing is, Cole, I look good wearing a cap backwards, and I don't wear it with a tracksuit. So...
Yeah, I would look like one of those loons you see in a park next to the bench with the trousers under his armpits with the hat on backwards.
Do you know who looks good with a backwards cap?
I'd look like Doofus.
Do you know who really looks good with a backwards cap?
No one.
Nobody.
Thanks.
Because you just look like some chud from Jersey Shore. Yo, bro!
No, I don't know.
You do.
I'm sorry, but I have a fat chain hanging from my waist.
Is that fat with a PH or an F?
I'm all in black, and I've got silver hair and stretched lobes. That
Hang on, silver hair? I thought you weren't allowed to have
proper gangster. Yeah, okay. I'll take it back.
I thought you weren't allowed to have
You're looking hip and trendy.
Thanks, mate.
No.
But no, yes, I found out that I'm allowed to have silver hair, so I win.
But not blue hair. How is silver hair not? I mean, it looks like natural, I suppose, doesn't it?
Well, silver hair just makes me look the age that you call me. So, yeah, it's
99
it's a colour,
now and counting.
It's a colour that I would go naturally.
Don't. He's just had his letter from the Queen drop.
As long as the goal wasn't Goff's match.
But yeah, so Joel Gritt has just joined us.
Hey, Joel.
Hello, Joel.
He says hello to you two, and I've got a thumb of shame, and I don't know why, but I need to know.
We know why you've not got a thumb of shame, or why you've got a thumb of shame, because we told everybody to give you a thumb of shame when they next saw you.
Yeah, but why?
Why do you think?
Well, so I love
sit on the step and have a think for a bit about what you've done.
So I love you guys, but family first, and I've been spending time with family and trying to take care of my own family by finding us somewhere to live.
Is the wrong answer.
You see, Colin will understand the strife behind finding somewhere to rent.
Absolutely.
Seeing as you've never moved out, Foxx, you won't. It takes time.
Yeah, but you know what? Colin will understand, but he'll still mock you mercilessly for it.
Yeah, but then I just need to remind him about your wrist.
Yeah, that will win hands down.
/ thumb, but I say wrist because it's funnier.
Yeah, should have heard it right. Friday side during the frolic. The door opens, it's Mama Foxx. Hello, interwebs. Had you heard? Mummy kiss Fummy Wummy better, there.
No, you didn't. Can I just...
That's what he wanted to hear.
You may mock the thumb, but even with my gimpy thumb, I still turned up.
Also, Lynn, right?
Hey, Lynn.
Lynn. I'm not going to read out Lynn's full message because it wouldn't get my point across. But you missed Lynn's birthday, Foxx. Outrageous.
What do you mean I missed Lynn's birthday? When did I miss Lynn's birthday?
Well, you don't even know when Lynn's birthday was.
Do you know when my birthday is?
Yes.
Okay. When? No. Where's my present? So when did I miss?
I am 90% certain I'm going to text you because you probably don't want it in the public domain.
When did I miss Lynn's birthday? I mean, explain to me how I missed it. But was it because I wasn't somewhere, or because?
Well, Lynn has just celebrated her birthday, which me and Colin are aware of because, like, Lynn is awesome.
Happy birthday, Lynn.
You missed Lynn's birthday.
How did I miss it?
Lynn, you need to back me up in chat.
How did I miss it?
Why? Because we failed to notify you, didn't we?
Yeah.
No. How did I miss it? Was I not advised of it?
There you go.
Well, it was your job to know when Lynn's birthday is.
It was my job.
Right. I have now sent the message in our messenger conversation when I believe your birthday is. I am. Oh,
I put rivets on.
Nice. It's either that or, but I think it's the first one.
So you have to remember that I do have the worst memory known to man. So expect me to. It's barely a miracle that I can remember Mama Fox's birthday.
Now I believe that your birthday is on one of those two dates, but I'm 90% sure it's the first one.
No, both are wrong.
Pants. I got it in the right month though.
I'm not telling you anything. Both of them were wrong. I'll leave it at that.
I got it in the right month.
I'm not saying.
Well, you don't need to say because I know.
We're bookings.
Apologies, Lynn, if I was not around to wish you a happy birthday whenever you revealed to all that it was your birthday.
Clarify. Lynn's message actually said that you missed her birthday getaway from Carlsbad. I ran away to my mum's. Now I want my birthday song from the three of you. Not that will kill the audience, but basically I just turned that into that you missed her birthday.
Okay.
You know,
are we singing Happy Birthday? I think we've had it requested.
I cannot sing.
Excellent. Let's go then. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lynn.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Like and subscribe. There you go.
Well, bin that Si had a guess. I'll have a guess, and I've put it in the chat.
Oh, I've closed the messenger again. Hang on, let me open it up again.
If you're right, Colin, you're such a gay.
Do. Colin might have it like stored away. I reckon maybe he's got it booked on his phone or something because he's sent me presents before. Yes, you are correct, Colin.
I was going between that date and the second one that I put in my head, and I was
it's because Colin sent me gifts in the past, and you've sent me nothing ever. So.
Oh, that's simply not true.
That's simply not true. I spat on my hand.
That is it.
I know.
There may have been copy and pasting involved there.
Get you with your copy. I know there was copy and pasting. Because you've sent me stuff before. So.
Yes.
So you know my birthday is.
Oh my god, it exists. Oh, I wish.
Oh my god, it exists. What?
I am Colin. I have found
Do not
something.
send me a life-size Jar Jar Binks pillow. I don't want anything like nonsense. Whatever it is.
I have found a product which will alleviate
I know where this is going.
it will alleviate.
Do not send me a thing of aerosol or something like that.
I so know where this is going.
I've sent it to you in Messenger.
Oh, fucking hell.
Steady nose.
I've not sent it to you because I don't know if I want you to see it yet.
Yeah, Si, I'll go down the middle with you on that first.
No, don't go down the middle. The middle's the dangerous bit.
Yeah. I am very, very nervous now.
You know what I mean. We'll split the difference, mate. Birthday's coming.
Thanks, my birthday's a long time away. Yeah.
There will be terms and conditions that apply to this as well.
Not if it affects my monetisation, they won't.
No, but Si will appreciate what I'm about to reply to him.
Okay.
There cannot, under any circumstances, be a live demonstration.
You guys are the worst.
Oh, look at me. Oh, Spider Pig.
Spider Pig.
Spider Pig. I'm going to put it in the 24/7 Just so people
Anyway,
know.
how are the people in chat doing?
So we'll see it, won't it?
How are the people in chat doing, chat Dolly?
I don't think it's an actual product. This is what made me giggle.
Do you know? Chat Dolly's rubbish.
It is brilliant.
It's
I shall
so
deliberately
wrong.
not go in the 24/7 chat to see it.
You're never in there anyway.
I'm in the chat.
The thing is, Si, in a roundabout kind of way, I think he would like it.
Wait,
Stop it.
stop now.
That's just disturbing.
It just conjures up the wrong kind of
actually,
image.
Lynn's got a good point. When's my birthday? Foxx.
Lynn's?
I don't know, because I've never sent you a birthday present.
Well, exactly.
Because
Outrageous.
I've never sent anybody a birthday present, apart from back in the days when we used to have like a birthday pool, but that's going back ages.
Of course, go back donkey's years.
Yeah, because then we knew everybody, we had a list and everything, but that's back in the old days, that.
Well, we were born.
But
in
then
the
again,
same
like I say, I openly say I have a rubbish memory. I don't remember anybody's birthday. Birthdays,
I
phone
don't
numbers,
have.
no idea.
I still have that list.
God,
I
really?
forget my old my own birthday half the time.
I don't know my brother's birthday. The only birthday I know is literally mine, one of my friends Martin's, and Mama Fox's, and that's it.
Lynn says, so when's Colin's birthday? She says.
And I even got Mama Fox's birthday wrong this year.
No.
Because there's a very good valid reason though. Her actual birth was on a certain day.
Yeah.
But when they did all the birth records, they got the date wrong and put it down as the next day. So her birthday is on one day, but officially when you when she has to do anything, it's the next day. So when she was in hospital,
as the Queen.
well, when she was in
hospital,
for about most of last year, I was so used to giving out her official her like the day after her birthday, because that's what the NHS has her down as, and the doctor and stuff, that it was like I ended up ordering stuff for the day after, not the actual birthday. I'm like, oh crap, yes, out of flowers and things. But I spent the whole year saying the unofficial date, not the official date. I've done some plastic card.
Oh, I'm impressed with you, soldier.
Rivety bits.
Excellent. So, what's Paul from the 24/7? What's his name this month?
June.
Okay. So I'm. It sounds like June will join in getting that for Foxx. Excellent.
Yeah,
This means it really is something bad, like an enormous dildo or something, isn't it?
It's along those lines.
Oh dear.
Oh, Si, by the way,
Yes.
do you remember that design I did a while back that corpsed you?
I think so.
Would you like some shaped stickers of that?
That would be pretty funny.
Here we go.
Yeah. Because
Here we go.
We still need to get the cheesy balls made up for Kevin.
Colin, what happened to me and you mocking Simon mercilessly and teaming up, like to tag team him? Where did that go?
You kind of pants.
It's literally been 2 days and you failed on me, bailed on me completely. It's so unreliable.
Yeah, but he's just so nice and so professional.
You're such a turncoat. You're such a turncoat.
This is my plan all along, right? So I come back and then I disappear for a couple of weeks, so Colin misses me, and then it's automatically nicer to me than he is to you. So
see,
do you know?
That's how I win.
That's because I'm an Orks. See, he knows me too well, doesn't he?
Exactly.
How are people in chat doing, Si? I've got no idea because nobody's reading the chat for me.
Well,
subtle hint.
Are you like that?
I have been reading the chat, and we have chatted about what's in the chat, such as the 3D print monthly subscription, and
correct,
and birthdays and stuff. So
Birthdays.
I have actually just been reading the chat. I've just been naturally incorporating it into our conversation.
I shall let you off.
So, nah!
I refute that theory thus. I need to put some rivets on this thing, don't I?
Like the true professional you are.
Jeff, you are so close, my friend. So Jeff has just said Fox's birthday is 20... Wait, no, you're right. How do you know my birthday? Jeff, you're a magician.
Either that or there's something weird going on and he's just outside your room.
it's plausible. Or Jeff just took a stab in the dark and said that my birthday is 25 days after yours, Fox, which it is. So yeah, I don't know. Jeff, you're a magician.
I think you may have mentioned your birthday before in the 24/7.
Oh, that means you've got the same
maybe.
birthday as my friend Nikki.
Well,
Or
yeah.
had. Not anymore, sadly. I've just rescribed a panel line. Oh, and it looks gorgeous.
Oh, you go careful.
It's the first time I've ever actually rescribed an actual panel line because it was
I'm
a bit
amazed
gloopy.
you
It was a bit...
scribed that and didn't actually impale yourself.
Then again, it's a Games Workshop panel line, so it's a bit like sort of like gouging out the
What'll happen in a minute, Si? You'll
Joke
do
die.
2 more strokes of that and you'll see the plane fall away from the bit he's got hold of.
Yeah.
and collapse.
And I've been
still
good, I'm
going.
stood up as well.
No, it's a different
Nice.
bit now.
Yeah, that is one good thing about GW panel lines. Is it's a bit like trying to scribe the Grand Canyon from space. It's not overly
It's like-
challenging.
It's like I'll not just put this panel line back in, and I must make sure it resembles the Manchester Ship Canal to
You're
make
not
it
going to
accurate.
slip, are you, with the scriber? You're not going to slip and gouge
I mean-
the piece.
No.
The biggest problem when you're trying to rescribe GW panel lines is quite often your scriber's not actually wide enough. So you end up rescribing it and it's actually too thin.
Yeah.
But yeah. How is it 6:30 already, by the way?
Who is
I
it?
know.
Oh, it's nearly time to go and do the washing up and make the dinner. Yay! Such excitement.
Are you sticking to Fox's mess tonight?
It depends. Once I've done the washing up, I might be like, screw it.
Take away.
Yeah. No, I need to.
We made the mistake the other night of getting Uber Eats.
Oh
But
yeah.
the mistake came in when it was KFC, and of course, half of it was missing
Oh yeah.
and incorrect. But,
We ordered KFC again last week, and I've said to Mama Fox now we're not ordering KFC online anymore. Because again, the order was completely wrong and half the stuff was missing. And I actually went online. I don't know. I've not done it before. I actually read the reviews for my local KFC.
atrocious.
And every single one is, this is the worst KFC in the world. This is the worst KFC ever. This place is awful. This place is horrible. This place is... But then I realised it's the same for any KFC. But, yeah, so I'm not ordering KFC online again now.
I don't know if we've got anyone from Australia in chat at the moment, but my partner has family that lives out in Oz. I've never been, but she's been a few times, and she raves about Australian KFC. Apparently you can get it in 2 levels of like crunchiness.
Ooh.
So let me check.
Thing is, I love KFC. I hate getting half my order missing.
Australian KFC, you can get it in like crunchy or like really crunchy, can't you? Right? On any of it. Yeah, so she says, I was wrong about the crunchy.
Hello,
but
Mrs.
it was-
Sai.
Fox says hello.
Hello.
She called you an ass.
What? I feel there's been a bit of priming the pump going on there.
I like your missus. Your missus is
Poisoning the well,
brilliant.
as it were.
You prime your own pump, young man.
She shouldn't be listening to
Will.
ne'er-do-wells like you. Don't listen to that Cy Reynolds. You can't trust him.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're coming in for a headset.
God damn it.
But yeah, so she says you can get anything on the menu in normal or spicy, but she always says it's so much less greasy than the stuff we get in the UK. And
Yeah.
it's just actually nice.
Well, the thing is, the stuff in the UK, my local KFC is entirely populated by, like, grumpy teenagers who can't even spell their own names correctly. So it's like, oh, really
Also,
is. Like, you go
fun
in there,
fact-
you can be the only customer in there, and you'll still have to wait 15 minutes.
So a fun fact about Australia, and part of the reason I love Australia is because they're hilarious. They have. Do you remember the old school Feast ice creams that you could get in the
Yeah.
UK?
Yeah.
So Australia has an ice cream that's very similar, but it's like a different. It's a biscuit on the outside instead of nuts, and it's
Oh, yeah.
white chocolate, I believe. And it's called a golden gay time.
Golden... what?
A golden gay time.
Yeah, it's an oldie worldy name, that.
Yeah, because it's a golden happy time.
Yeah.
Absolutely happy.
In today, it's
Jolly and gay.
yeah.
Yes.
And their name for flip-flops is very different to ours.
Thongs.
For example. Yep.
I did a
thongs,
whole
yeah.
comic strip based on that exact joke.
And there's a restaurant in Perth, and I got so confused. So my mother-in-law went out to Oz recently, and she was like, "Oh yeah, we went straight from the airport for a lucky shag," and that's actually the name of the restaurant. I think it's a taco restaurant near Perth Airport. So.
Excellent.
What that? It's a pub bar kind of thing. I've just been corrected.
There you go. Get your facts right.
Well, I have now.
Good. That'll
She
learn you.
reiterated that you're an ass.
Good girl. Good
Oi.
girl. I like your
For
missus.
all I
Your
know, she's not
missus-
saying any of this, and you're just making this up.
Your missus is a superstar.
Okay, babe. Can you say this loudly? But would you say that Foxx is an ass?
No.
Yay!
I've got to go now.
Sorry, that worked really badly, didn't it, mate?
Talk about accidental unplanned splash damage you're getting yourself.
You watch, she'll come off air and she'll go, yeah, he is really.
She's not getting any dinner now. She might have to sleep on the floor.
Oh, you'll be sleeping on the floor.
That's so disappointing, that sigh, isn't it?
It was heartbreaking.
That's cut really deep, that has.
I like Missy Si. I think she's lovely.
I've gone off her now.
And she's not going to hear that, so she'll never know.
Fox said he thinks you're lovely. He just gave me 2 thumbs up.
Tommy, 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs good. There you go.
Oh, yeah, now she's saying that you don't like not the most recent, but the most recent trilogy of Batman films. And then she was like, so I'm unsure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you poisoned the well again. Honestly, all this
there's
well
hope-
poisoning
there's
going
hope.
on.
There's hope, then.
All
Well,
this.
no, that's truth, because you know as well as I do that you do not like the Christopher Nolan Batman films.
Yes, but this is not a fact that she needed to know to make a
Have you
judgment upon
told
me.
her how much of a princess he's been about his little thummykins?
My thumb is fine.
No, but that can be arranged. Babe, would you believe, right, that Fox,
Sorry,
a
mate, but
62-year-old man,
I think it's unfair that when I heard that we're not on
62 years
speaker.
old, right, he's actually damaged his thumb because he was sucking on it too much.
Oh, bugger, that fell off.
Look, I can actually show you. I can actually.
No.
I will prove this to you, babe. He put a picture up the other day of his hurt wrist, and
It
he's
wasn't
such
my
a
wrist.
fanny. She's put her glasses on, guys. This is getting serious now.
oh, the glasses are out.
Do you know?
Right, see,
Of course, I can't defend myself at all here because there's no comeback on this.
he's complaining that he can't defend himself, but I am relaying very accurately what he's saying. Very accurately.
Oh, she's not got a lot of faith in you there, Sire. That's one thing I might have picked up there.
Yeah.
And I'll read this out to you, what he put. I need to get the Macarius Vanquisher, that's a tank, from Ford Road, painted and finished urgently to raise some money to pay the bills. But my old thumb injury from when I was sucking my thumb too hard has re-arisen.
No, it doesn't say that on there.
So,
She can't hear you, mate. You're on headphones.
I know.
what a pansy he is, right? With your
I'm pretty
approve of
sure
that
she could
statement,
read it not saying that if you let her anywhere near it. Which
would
you won't.
agree?
I think you should let her read it for herself.
I don't know.
That's not gonna be.
That is from sucking his thumb. Yes.
Trust, Sire. Would Sire tell you porkies?
Yeah, Colin is saying, would I tell you porkies?
Yes.
She didn't hesitate there, did she, Fox?
No, she knows that I'm just trying to get him. That's a lie, that is.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It says lies.
So, avert your eyes.
Oh, okay, I'll take the glasses off.
Oh, he's writing something else. It's shenanigans.
With you always.
There is always shenanigans, that is true.
Yes. I don't know.
Yeah, I think everyone in the chat's saying that you're a princess, mate.
I don't know. I'm a
Yeah.
princess.
Well, you know.
Dee. Right, I'm not
Glad
doing.
I had your back there, mate.
Yeah, you had my back like a piece of string, wet noodle.
So, there is actually a modelling related question, guys.
Okay. I'll do it quick though because
Now-
I'm going to wrap up shortly.
Okay. So, Richard Thomas, this is mainly for you, Cole. What's a file called when 3D printing? He's looking to get someone to 3D print a 1/25th Hellcat engine for a 2009 Dodge Challenger build.
You can have an STL file, which is a stereolithography file, or you can have an OBJ, which is an object file.
Obj.
If it's gone through a slicer, if it's for a resin printer, it will be a CTTB file, which is Chitubox. So yeah,
What determines the file type, the software that was used to make the file?
the file type is the file it was saved in, but then, like, I get an STL file, I can run it through Chitubox, and then that'll save it to a flash drive
Yeah.
as a CTTB file, which is what my resin printer recognizes.
Ah, right, okay.
The filament printer will do it through G-code.
Okay, so it's just like any other file type variations,
yeah.
like JPEG.
Yeah,
GIF.
G-code is basically a text code, a bit like early C code.
G-code is government code. It's super secret. You're obviously working for the man.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Where would you recommend that Richard go and look for such an engine? Maybe
Space.
Thingiverse, Cole?
I would look probably Colts 3D. The one that Muse was on about. 9 times out of 10, I just Google it. I type what I'm looking for and just go 3D printable file after it.
Yeah. Find anything on
I
Google.
normally use Colts, Sanix, Loot is the one that Marcy uses.
Loot?
Thingiverse is all right, but more decent complex figures are usually on the more niche 3D file sites. You know, normally they're
I assume
paid
there
for
are.
files.
I assume there are, of course, people that will design things for you for a fee.
Yes.
I say, I
there
need
are,
an engine
there
for
are.
this. Brilliant. I'll make one for you.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, you can actually find someone that's already done a
Yeah.
file. You know, there are people out there that have done files for like V8 engines,
Oh, yeah.
Hemis, that sort
Yeah,
of
engines
things.
you're probably going to find them quite easily, but for anything that's really weird, it might be like.
But a good old Google search, and all I do is say, for instance, Dodge Charger. I'd go Dodge Charger 3D printable file as a Google search. Bang. And it'll 9 times out of 10 refer you to many of the sites that I've just read.
On Colin's website, 9 times out of 10, it'll bring up a porn website. But that's a whole
Absolutely.
different conversation.
Yeah,
Right,
that's a
well-
conversation for Friday night moob time.
And there is one last thing before you wrap up.
Yes.
Bill Cropper's asking about miniature brushes. I don't know exactly what you're looking for.
What was the question?
Bill. Well, he's just struggling to find broken-toed brushes in stock.
Oh,
anywhere.
right.
So-
I think you can only get them from Broken Toad, I think.
You can get them elsewhere. I know that they have. There is some stock on their website. Like I'm looking right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally they give you links for their stockists.
But like they've got. They have some stock. I don't know if they've gone out of business. However, if you really can't find them, a really good alternative that I can recommend would be Artis Opus.
Artis
It's
Opus,
Opus, I was just about to say them.
You've got
You
their
get the
you've got
different-
their fluffy brushes, haven't you, Cole?
Yeah, you get different sets in a little wooden box. Yeah, they're ever so good.
And
I think-
they are comparable to broken toed brushes for sure.
I think the deal with Broken Toads is that they're really, really tiny, and I think from what I've heard before, they basically get a production run done. Like they'll get like X number of brushes made and sets, and then once they sell out, they have to wait until they get more brushes because they're not like a constant manufacturer. I think they just get a whole mess made and then
Yeah,
sell out, and then they make more.
Yeah.
They're not a huge company. It's basically one guy running it out of a container. So
Yeah.
he'll get like, I don't know, 500 size noughts made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he'll only get more made when he's got maybe 50 left.
I actually looked into having brushes and stuff made and branded, but it could work out quite expensive. So you have to buy in bulk and large amounts. So that's what they'll probably do a big chunk, then get them made, then get them a big chunk.
Yeah.
So it might be that, because I know when I was looking for some, it was a good 6 or 8 months when the one I wanted was out of stock, and then they just all came back in stock again. So
Yeah, I was lucky when I got mine. I got it through one of the links on their website.
Yeah. Well, when I got my last set, I got 2 sets because I know they were a bit like Fine Molds. Like Fine Molds used to make the Falcon kit, the Millennium Falcon, as a run, and then they stopped for like 2 years, and then they release it again because they make more. So because they're a small company. So
I mean, I'm not entirely sure where you're based, Bill, but I know Broken Toad is somewhere in Europe. So I would imagine if you are US based, for example, they probably, a few stockists in the US, I would imagine, would get a very small amount of stock, which would probably sell out quite quickly.
Yeah.
And then they might not get any more for
I'm
6
putting a
months
link.
or something.
I'm putting a link in the chat for where I got mine. Who was it who asked?
Bill Cropper.
Yeah. I mean, in reality, you're probably most likely to snap a setup first on their own website because they'll go up on their website before they get to all the stockists. So if you really want that specific brand, it's just a case of checking their website. If they'd gone out of business, the website would have gone. So.
Yeah. But that's where I got mine from. I actually got them from them quicker than I would have got them from Broken Toad.
I mean,
Broken Toad was saying they didn't have any, yet the stockist did.
Yeah, I mean, it might be that, you know, like Si says, they might be running it from a container, but he might have like a full-time job at the same time. So
Yeah.
it might just be not got round to it yet, and it's just something he does on the side. So just keep at it. You might have like a million emails, and there's no way you can get through them.
If you really can't find them, though, Bill, highly, highly, highly recommend the Artis Opus brushes.
And that's Artis, Artis Opus.
Yeah, they are really good.
Right, I think we should call it a show. One last thing. Joel Grit says, Foxx is the title. Anything to do with pareidolia, the phenomenon of seeing something that's not really there? Yes, Mars. What was it? Mars crabs. NASA did one of the rovers took a photograph of a rock formation, and one of the little rock formations looks like there's a spider coming out from the rocks, or a crab of some sort. It's not. It's just rocks. But you know, obviously, all the Fruit Loops on the internet went, "Oh, look, it's life on it." No, it's a rock. It's just a rock, dude. It's like there's one come out just now with a picture of a doorway in some rocks. It's like no, it's just a hole in rocks because it's rocks, dude. It's not a door.
Yeah, once they put the scale down, it was about 35 millimetres tall. And something stupid like that. So.
Yeah, I think he said it was. About a foot tall or something like that. It was like, no, it's just rocks.
Yeah, but you know what? Humans are like. Some people just want to see something when there isn't anything to be seen, and they want to believe something, so they will.
Most people believe that rocks are just rocks, but then you've got like Richard Hoagland who believes everything is aliens, and therefore, you know,
yeah, but it is, isn't it? Everything's aliens, witchcraft, and tomfoolery, mate. That's what it is.
Hey, Si, you'll know because you listen to the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe. Richard Hoagland, they love Richard Hoagland on that podcast.
They do.
Hoagland. Anyway, I think I need to go and make sure Mama Fox gets out of bed. She had a snooze. I'm going to do my stream, right, I'm going for a snooze. Oh, you cowbag, she knows. So make sure you get up after a couple of hours, make yourself a brew. I will, she hasn't. She hasn't. She'll been asleep for 3 hours.
Nah, she's wrapped up in a duvet like a Swiss roll, mate.
Yeah, she's been
He's going to go in there and he's going to see a tuft of hair and one eyebrow. That's what he'll see.
That's normally how it goes. The little finger pops out to give a little finger hug.
Yeah, and he'll say, time to get up, and you'll hear...
Yeah, cowbag. Anyway, she's a terror. So yes, anyway... I've not glued this on, but I've built that today.
Oh,
I've done my wings and things.
Slow clap.
Bits of painting.
Look at that. Why are you giving me a slow clap?
Broom noises.
Because you've done about as much as normal.
Hey, but you know what? It's more than you would have done.
Yeah.
There you go then.
To a lesser quality.
Oh.
What, you would have done to a lesser quality? Nah, probably not. But yes, so you've done your painty. How is that truck coming along, Cole?
It's coming along all right, mate. Obviously not to the quality of what you two guys can
shut up.
But it's good enough. It's good enough for what I'm doing. I'm liking it so
far. Are you still doing your base colours?
Basey colours, mate. This is the stage of the paint job that is, like, really annoying.
Part spider.
Yeah, but it'll come together.
Oh, look at all them engine bits that need oily patterns.
You're at that annoying stage in the model where everything looks... It's at the in-between stage where it looks all right, but it doesn't yet look awesome.
It's that cartoon stage, as I call it.
Yeah.
Do you know what the worst bit about painting figures is? Minifigures, like doing them deathcore dudes. When you get all the base colours down, but before you do any shades, they look like garbage. They look
do
like
like
absolute
arse, yeah.
butt crack garbage, and I'm like, wow, I've painted that with half a potato and a dead cat. Then you put a wash on it, it's like, okay, it's a bit better.
Yeah. Everything starts blending together.
Yeah. And the downside of using big magnifier headset like I've been using to do those dudes is that when you're looking at something that big, that close, everything looks terrible.
Yeah.
But when you hold it away and go like that, it's like, actually, it looks pretty good. Or you do a photograph.
yeah.
But when you're looking at it that close, it's like, I can see all the brush strokes and the molecules. It's horrible. I've painted it
Survives the 2-foot test, mate. As far as I'm concerned, that's good enough.
Yeah.
Lynn and Joel Grit say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh,
Yes.
And Joel Grit says to give me a thumb of shame, but of course, Fox, you can't at the moment, so it will have to come from
My
Colin.
thumb has been fine. But
Yes,
Si
sure.
Reynolds gets the finger of shame for being rubbish. And he wasn't with us on Friday because he fell asleep in the chair.
Yes, I fell asleep because
he's old.
I am not yet retired
He's
or
old.
a full-time YouTuber,
He's
so I
old.
actually have to do things
He's
and
old.
work.
He's
And
old
actually,
and rubbish.
you know,
He's
do
old
stuff.
and rubbish. He's added cocoa and he fell asleep.
Sire, was you there with your head back and your tongue on the shoulder of your jacket?
Pretty much, yeah.
He was listening to his collection of Terry Wogan audiobooks, and that's what set him
And
off.
as he shuffled to
No,
make
no,
himself
so-
comfortable, he went.
So, here's the truth. Because we live in a studio flat, we have no sofa. So therefore, our bed is our sofa.
World's smallest violin.
Yeah, but if you put me on a bed in front of a film, I'm going to fall asleep. And I fell asleep. Simple as that.
Knew it was coming.
You need to learn how to play it for it to be a full effect.
You know, Sire.
I know how to play violin. I do play violin.
That
You just can't
item,
play
mate.
that because it's terrible. It's rubbish.
Play an
that
outro.
I can't because
That
it doesn't
item.
actually work. The strings are all flippy floppy and they're not actually real strings.
That item's so going to get ordered now.
And also the bow is actually attached to the neck. So I couldn't play violin very well. When I started taking lessons, my instructor says, "Wow, who taught you how to hold the bow properly?" I said, "No one. That's how I assumed you do it." Well, you're the first person who's ever come in and not just gone like that with the bow. You've actually held it properly with your hand. I'm brilliant. I'm a genius. What can I say?
The thing is, Cole, if we order that, in the next few years, we need to incrementally build him a full-size body to place it in.
I'm just stopping listening now before I start getting panic attacks. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for joining us. As always, don't forget we'll be back tomorrow for eModels Monday with me, Cole, Chris, and Ted. Is it?
Yes.
Chris
Ted's what's in store as punishment, wasn't it? Because he wasn't here last week.
Oh yeah, so he gets a second what's in store. Get in.
Yeah, I don't know whether he's aware yet, but you might want to let him know.
Yeah. So that'll be tomorrow. And then throughout the week, I'm going to obviously, again, try and get some painting and filming done of the Imperial Knight Canis Rex. Now I've got the Macarius Vanquisher out of the way. The Vanquisher will be going up on eBay at some point when I've actually figured out how to pack it. And I've got a box to put it in. Because I'm not sure how I'm going to pack it yet. So it's all delicate resin. So, yeah, I don't know yet. But that'll go on eBay at some point. But yes, so throughout the week I'll try and get some filming done of the Imperial Knight Canis Rex. I'll be back on Friday with Colin for his Festus Frolics. Get your frolics up. I'm back on next Sunday as well. Colin, what have you got lined up for this week?
Obviously, eModels Monday with you tomorrow. On Wednesday Workbench Live over on the eModels' YouTube with
Yep.
Dave at 5:30 in the evening, UK time.
Yep.
Friday Frolic, and then next Sunday at midday or 12:30 back with Dave for the Sunday at the Bench Show. Bit of film editing to do on the Suzuki to finish.
Okay.
I'm midway through the next episode. I've just got to voice over the rest of it and then voice over the last episode, and that's all done.
Suka.
Yeah.
And Si, you don't have a War YouTube channel yet.
No, but I've already forgotten what I'm going to do next week, so I have
Yay.
lost all culpability.
Yay. I do hope eventually you do get a YouTube channel and you do filming and stuff. One
Dude,
day.
once we've moved and I've got a cave back with this huge bench, anything is possible.
Of all of
including
us, and our levels of painting that should have a YouTube channel, you're the most in need of a
it should
YouTube
be
that. I
channel.
know.
But you know what it's going to be? Episode number 1194 of How to Paint This Orc.
Well, you guys have asked for it, so if that's what you get, you'll enjoy it.
Episode
Absolutely.
75. Episode 75.
I will
The
be-
next nub.
I will be loving it because all my Citadel paints and brushes and that will go on eBay because it'll be, yeah, Si's doing it now. I'm not going to do this anymore.
The thing is, though, Cole, I can guarantee that I would at least get past episode 6.
That's a good point.
Welcome to episode 728 of doing this particular backpack.
Yep.
Anyway, that's going to do us. Thank you everyone for watching. Don't forget, of course, if you'd like to support this channel, you can go to patreon.com/modelmakingguru, or to become a patron, or you can click the join button underneath any of my videos. Same for Colin's stuff. Go to patreon.com/Festa67's workshop, or press the join button under his videos, and you can keep both our channels alive. We will be back throughout the course of the week. Stay tuned. I will see if maybe, if I can get some Xbox time, my thumb allows it. I'll try and do some more Cyberpunk. We'll see. We'll see. I've got to be careful. It's an ongoing injury. I can't help it. Anyway, until then, I shall say thank you very much for watching. I need to activate my thing again, don't I? Hang on.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. You there, be awesome. Now, do it now, do it now, do it now.
Adios, amigos.
Oh, you bugger.